news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help a common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. You know, I often start the show by saying the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe, which is true. No one focuses on solving problems directly and giving advice and tips in everyday life and not trying to change your politics or religion. Oh, we talk about that stuff, but nothing to try to change you or to make you a zealot of one kind or another. We love doing what we do, but I got to say something else. The more I thought about it, I think it's the only show, or I think we've given more help to people than any other show or any other form of media, and that's why I love that saying we have media with a purpose. I've been adding up just a few of these casual cases that we've had just since the beginning of this year, and we're into the millions already in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. Now, I'm going to take Joseph. He's a possible victim of a fraud of some kind, and that's right in line with what I want to talk about today. First, let's take a tally here, like a teacher. Shannon, present, right? Kachina, yes. Present.
Here.
Major Marc Mager?
Not.
Oh,
we don't have accesses available today.
Oh, come on.
No, it's a thing.
We gotta do something about that. He can call in. Anyway, so Deputy Doc, you in the studio? Present?
I'm here and ready to go.
Okay, and then we have some deputies remote and other deputies in parts unknown because it's a good vacation time. I want to remind everyone you can text me. And you can text me at my private Google number. And this is private, 24/7. It's my number. So it goes right to me. 747-999-5280. Okay? So you can call there and text there. If you call, you got to leave a message most of the time because I'm not going to pick up. But I use it mainly for texting. And no one's been abusing it, by the way. It's 747-999-5280. You know, I ought to see if 303 Martino's available for that text. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how to do that. I'm going to figure that out. So anyway, people, welcome. Okay, now, one thing I do want to talk about today is right in line with our first caller. But first, let's take Joseph's call and see what it has to do with. Let me key in on it. Joseph, what's going on?
Tom, how you doing? Thank you.
Doing good, Joseph. What's going on, man?
Well, I want to say first, I like your positive attitude, because what I have for you is a very dark story.
Oh, man.
But
what is it?
I can't see it as dark, because that'll get me down.
Tell me what's going on, man.
See the humor and the absurdity in it.
Yeah.
Well, I've been dealing with some individuals who have an unusual relationship with the Boulder County Sheriff's Office. I can't tell you how that came about. I don't know anything.
But when you say dealing,
any accusations there.
When you say dealing, you got to fill in all the blanks. So talk. What do you mean dealing? Talk about it.
Yeah, prompt me as I go. Make sure because I'm not good at
this.
So
what are we talking about? A business deal you were in, or consumer deal? What?
No, these were friends of mine for about 15 years.
And what about them?
Well, I faced some difficult circumstances. I was very sick from when I was a little kid. And just in the past couple of years, the illness was identified and effectively cured.
What was it?
But back then, it was a form of depression. Everybody thought it was an illness of the brain, but it turned out to be a hormonal problem. They just missed it.
All right, so listen, mental illness, depression, bipolar, all of these things are tied to our bodies and our minds together, and they're all one unit anyway.
Very much so.
Anyway, I don't know why people separate them. But anyway, Joseph, so you were dealing with friends. Keep your story going. Let's hear what you got to say. Go ahead.
Well, I lost both parents within 5 years.
Okay. That's a depressing
with
thing.
With the illness, tough, yeah.
And when was this? How long ago did you lose them? How long?
I lost my mother in 2013 and my father under horrible circumstances in 2015. He was killed by his own surgeons because they failed to read a lab report.
Right, so you got a lot going on in your life. I hear it in your voice. I hear that you're still a little down. So what's going on? What can we do for you today?
Well, what I need is a little direction because these friends I stayed with for about 2 years, the sheriff's department was receiving reports that they were beating the living shit out of me.
Okay, can you nix that for me, Shannon?
Got it.
Got it. Listen, we got to wait for our delay here, and we got to come back to him. Can somebody school him, please? We got to be very careful. Can somebody tell him that, please? Look, I don't know where we're going with the story. I'll take the story. I'll talk about it, but I'm going to predict what this is. He's very depressed. He's very down. Life's dealt him. And now he's collecting these injustices and trying to make a pattern or a theme. And if they connect together, it justifies his feelings. If they don't connect together, he thinks the universe is out to get him. And then that's what happens. I'm going to let him tell his story. Maybe he's been ripped off. Maybe there's something we can do to help. But folks, here's what's wonderful about knowing people. After 45 years of talking to people, I have found something unique, not unique, something enlightening, that we're all exactly the same. I swear to God, we all have or share the same feelings. Now, some of us will embrace the certain parts of the, if you look at the feelings as a giant corral, we all have all of the feelings, and I mean all of them. I mean extreme love, extreme hate. We have depression, we have joy, we have hypochondriac, we have I'm healthy. We have every feeling of every emotion is in that corral, and we're all people, so we're all capable of experiencing them. We all have fleeting thoughts, even of homicide. I'm not saying we plot a homicide. You know what I'm saying. And so what I'm saying is this: in that corral, we decide what we're going to rope and what we're going to latch onto. Some people latch on to just all those negative things in that corral. Some people latch on to all the positive things in that corral. And no matter what, whatever you latch on to, you're going to concentrate on. And then you're going to collect more and more of them. But that corral's filled with everything. So when people call me, I know what they're latching onto because I felt it. And I could have chosen that. And we all can. We all know when we listen to callers here, if we're totally honest, no matter how whacked we think they are or how wonderful we think they are, we all have shared their feelings. There's no new feeling under the sun. Nothing new. Now, the wackos will take the extreme violent feelings and believe that they need to act on them. Sensible people think, what if I ever did that? Oh, no, never. We all have these thoughts. We're not crazy or we're not super sane. We just have these thoughts. It's what we corral. It's what we lasso.
Do you think it's all voluntary, Tom?
Well, what do you mean? Oh, well, hold on now. Okay. So if I'm a cowboy sitting on the corral, looking out into my corral, deciding what I'm going to lasso, what I'm going to rope into my life, I think it's influenced by all kinds of stuff. If I got a frickin' thorn on the fence that I just sat on, and it's in my ass, and I'm hurting, and I'm in extreme physical pain all the time, I don't look necessarily at all the good stuff in that corral. I think, God, this is terrible. I'm feeling terrible. And you latch on to some of the terrible things. Or maybe my hormones are off. That's something. I think sometimes people are just born with the genes of crazy people. I don't, look at, well, there's nothing new. Who knows? I don't know the answer, but I do know this. I do know that some of it's choice, but not all of it's choice. And that goes down to every single feeling in the world. Some of it's choice, not all of it is. Alcoholism, is it a choice? I think part of it is, but part of it is a sensitivity maybe to alcohol, and where they get a yearning where other people don't. look at some people can do painkillers after surgery and never go back to them and never miss them and never care about them. Others feel it and go, whoa. And then what the medication does, what painkillers and antidepressants and alcohol and all of that stuff does is when you're sitting up on your corral looking out into that corral of numerous feelings and emotions, it kind of helps you, it filters out some of the bad, so you think. And so it helps you to tackle the things in the corral. Now, in my opinion, the best way to go through that corral is to embrace whatever you're feeling, not super violent and all that, but recognize, hey, this guy lost his parents, maybe his friends and all this, so you're depressed. It's okay. Where we make the mistake is thinking that we can't be depressed. Of course we can. We don't want to be depressed every day, 24/7 for 50 years, but it's okay to feel bad. I think what happens to most people when they start feeling bad, they're told they shouldn't feel bad. So then they start fighting feeling bad. And then they even take drugs not to feel bad when if they just felt bad in the beginning for 1 or 2 or 3 weeks because they had some bad circumstances, they would have gotten over it. We're fighting not feeling bad. Sometimes you feel bad, then you get over it. I mean, I don't want to preach too much, but I swear to God, I mean, I hear this for 45 years. You learn after talking to people. There are people who simply latch on to certain parts of their feelings, and we all have them. Even though we say, oh, that person's whacked, we secretly have felt minor twinges of those feelings, but we just did not lasso them. We didn't tie them to our britches and walk around the rest of our lives with them. We got more coming up. Listen, the show's crazy, right? I don't make any excuse that I've been doing it for so long, and we managed to make it, don't we? So the point is this, okay? It's okay to go through that corral and feel both. Feel up, feel down, feel in between, feel hate, feel love. I mean, there's no one feeling that should take over ever. Waterpros.net will get you wonderful water at your kitchen sink. I mean, I love this stuff. And you know what? It's amazing. For $1,400, it'll change your life. If you're going to do nutrition, then consider water systems. Waterpros.net. PaulTheWaterman.com. 303-862-5554. More right after this.
She's typing the thing for Keanu now.
I wasn't sure what tech my business needed.
I wasn't sure what tech my business needed.
So I decided on my own.
So I went to Lenovo.com for expert advice.
My solution was a bad fit.
Our new tech is the perfect fit for our...
There you go.
When every decision matters, join Lenovo Pro, Lenovo's free membership program at Lenovo.com, and unlock new AI experiences with Lenovo's ThinkPad X1 Carbon, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors.
You know, when we talk about retirement, there is something called a rollover. Sometimes it's an in-service rollover, meaning you're still working, but you've accumulated some money, and you may want to get it out of the stock market and into something more secure. Or it's from an old employer and it's just sitting there. Or you actually stopped working and retired. So what is a rollover? What are some of the benefits, Joe?
Well, you know, Tom, you're talking this morning about feelings, people having feelings. And I'm going to tell you something. People have a strong feeling about not making any money in their retirement accounts. They're concerned. They really are concerned. Maybe their account is not growing enough. So a rollover is when you take money that may not be working as well as you want to have it work and put it into something that is going to grow, absolutely grow, with guarantees and protection against the economy goes down like it has been in the past few years. So a rollover is a very easy process to take money from an old IRA, an old 401k, even a pension from an employer that you may not be working with or you may still be employed with, and transfer the money into a safe and guaranteed product like the one that we have. It's called a guaranteed pension account. It's like a pension, Tom.
Yeah, and what we're talking about, Joe, is just basically a guarantee in writing with, in fact, a fixed indexed annuity by the financial regulators, Joe, you know this, it's not considered a security. It's considered considered a guaranteed insurance product. And there are very few products that you're allowed to say that. And why is that? Because in writing, it's guaranteed by a third party. It's guaranteed not to lose. It's guaranteed to gain a certain amount. It's guaranteed to participate only in profits, not in losses. And it's guaranteed to provide income. If you want to learn more, Joseph Cano is a certified financial planner, 303-779-6600. You never want to put all your money in one basket, but there's certainly room for a retirement account like this, 303-779-6600, mymoneymyway.com. Hey, you know what? Red Rocks Roof and Solar, I love these people. I know Brooke and her team, and what they do solar for both commercial and residential. One of the things I like about the commercial product, they have the REAP grant writers who can help them get these systems paid for if it's a commercial system, which includes agricultural. They can also help you if you have a residence. They help you not only with the application, but the tax credits, the financing, depreciation, whatever you need. That's redrocksrs.com. I talk about Frank Duran, the real estate man, like a brother because that's what I consider him over the years. I have known him for so many years. And you know, I can tell you that he will give you information just for the asking. He is of service to people first, and if you become a client, all the better. But there is no requirement if you just want information. You got some money, you want to know what you qualify for, what can you buy, where can you buy, or you want to sell, what will your house sell for? What's it really worth? Without going through the hassle of an appraisal or listing a home, he'll tell you free of charge, no obligation. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
Hello. Everybody doing okay? Mark, are you there? Mark was there. No. He was there. Don't tell me no.
Is this guy still on the line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you explain to him?
Yeah. Hard to turn off crazy, man.
Oh my God.
Well, why are we long here? Oh, I see.
I may have some outbounds coming in from Google.
Okay.
Fun.
I'll just tell you. Let me just see.
I've left a lot of messages today. Not much.
Gotcha. I just asked the guy if we can call him.
Okay.
Let's see. Is Mark listening? Do you know?
Yes.
He dialed in, but now I don't hear him.
Yeah.
Mark.
Access. There's something wrong with Access 4.
No, well, I don't think they're. Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I get off of that network.
Why do people? Who silenced hello morons? I don't understand that. Is that automatically done or something? Jack just put that up. And then it was like automatically held for review or something. I have no idea why, but
what? Oh crap! Here we come.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. A lot of discussion online here. Well, not a lot, but on my YouTube channel here, we get people who discuss back and forth things on and off the show and life in general. On the opening ceremonies of the Olympics, I know a lot of people were offended. A lot of people didn't care. A lot of people thought it was great, whatever. But I didn't understand. To be honest with you, I didn't understand the significance anyway. If you're going to have, it had nothing to do with the Olympics. That's all I have to, I mean, it's like, why? That's what I didn't understand. I'm not going to go so far as to think agendas are being pushed or something, but I just don't understand sometimes with anything people do, the context. I just don't understand it. Maybe if they explained it, we'd know better. Joseph, okay. Joseph suffered from years of depression, and he's starting to tell us about some problems he's having, but we haven't gotten to that. So, Joseph, let's try to key in on your problem. And by the way, don't say bad words. I had to nix you before. Now, you said...
I apologize for that. This is my first time on the air.
It's okay,
Tom.
Joseph. Joseph, pretend you're talking to a priest. Pretend you're talking to a priest, Father Tom.
I have a priest. I have a priest I love.
Okay. So listen, Joseph, on the Friends thing, they were the sheriff's department was getting reports they were beating the crap out of you. Let me ask you something. Who was making these reports?
Well, by that time, see, these are people I knew for 15 years, these boys. They were brothers.
But who made reports? Just answer me. I got to keep you here, man. Who,
Okay.
Otherwise we're going to have what we had the other day.
If people, county agency.
Okay.
Reports were made by a county agency.
Let me ask you this. Okay, hold on. Joseph, in all of my years, I have never had a county agency check on me. So why would a county agency report that you were having the crap beat out of you? Do they come and visit you on a regular basis? Are you under some kind of program?
No, not at all. It wasn't that sort of arrangement.
Then how did the sheriff's department get a report that these guys were beating the crap out of you?
I discussed it with one of the social workers at the agency. I told her...
But hold on, Joseph, stop. Nope. When you stop making sense, then I have to go back. When you said you discussed it with somebody at the agency, why? Did you call a social services agency?
No, they called me.
Now, okay, do you see where this is not making sense? As I said, in all of my years, I've never been called. Listen, you don't get to set the agenda. I tried that, and it doesn't work. Do you want to shut up? Do you want to shut up and get some help? I'm serious, okay? I'm taking control of the conversation. And here's what I'm going to ask. Number one, why did a social service agency call you in the first place? That's our first question and answer. What is the answer to that?
Because after I lost my parents,
yes,
I approached them.
Okay.
I had a qualifying diagnosis of an unknown type of depression.
Okay.
I was eligible for services by Colorado statute.
Good.
And I figured it might be better for me to receive those until things stabilized in my life.
Okay. So did they periodically call you to check on you?
Not for a while. They were supposed to, but they were rather negligent.
So upon this one call they made, you told them or you discussed something about being maybe physically beaten or abused?
Well, I'll tell you exactly what I told them,
Good.
sir.
Go ahead.
I said, these guys are my friends. They're behaving in a way that I've never seen them behave before. And I cannot strike my friends. These are people who've treated me well for years. I know them really well. I know something's wrong here.
Now, did you say that they were hitting you?
I did.
Okay, got it. Keep going. Okay.
Because I wanted to diffuse it.
Okay.
I wanted to diffuse it myself if I could. We're all young men.
And Joseph, were they like fooling around or were they really hurting you?
Well, as it escalated, it became quite dangerous. They were really hurting me.
And what did social services do about it?
Social services, what happened was interesting. Social services contacted the sheriff's department, asked the deputy and a couple paramedics to come out and look me over.
Okay, good. And then what?
Well, as soon as I have the records from the communications center at the sheriff's office.
Okay.
Within a few minutes of the time that they received that report from the county, they received a parallel report under the same legal kind of concept from a physician attending to their mother. And it was basically a counter to the report about their sons. It alleged that I was abusive to her.
Okay, so in other words, when you made this report to social services and they called Boulder County, these guys, through a doctor, made an opposite report.
Yeah, they were received by the communications center minutes apart.
No, I get it. Okay, so then what happened?
Whatever that may mean.
Then what
I
happened?
don't know what that means.
Then what happened?
Well, a deputy comes out with the medics. They come visit me. I'm in my room at the time because I have a little COVID. It's nothing serious. I'm just resting there. And the deputy comes to me. He doesn't ask me any questions about my safety. And the medics don't examine me. They sort of just stand there. But he lectures me for a while and says, I'm a pretty good bad guy for abusing this woman.
Now, what woman are they talking about? What woman are they talking about? Your friend's mom?
Yeah, and she was a dear lady to me.
Now, how did you? But hold on. Do you visit her? Is that what they're saying? You visit her?
No, I was staying in the family home.
Okay, see, that would have been the one to lead with. Okay, so Joseph. So the story starts out. You're living with these people, and then you told social services they were mistreating you, and then the brother said, no, you're the one mistreating mom. I got it. What happened then?
Well, what happened then, okay, so the deputy comes, he tells me I'm mistreating the old lady. God rest her soul, she's passed away. And I was a little bit shocked because
when did she pass away?
With the woman.
When did she pass away?
She passed away in 2022. She suffered in 2020 she suffered a heart attack.
Okay.
And she didn't get the right attention.
So this was way back then, obviously before she died. She reported to her doctor. Her doctor reported to the sheriff's department. So they wanted to counterclaim. They said you're hurting the mom. The sheriff's deputies come out. Let's keep moving forward. What happened then?
The deputy comes out. And he tells me, whatever you're doing, knock it off. He didn't take me into custody. He didn't charge me. I wasn't ticketed or anything. But I was surprised because my conversation with the mother...
Did they ever investigate the brothers hurting you?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not even
so let's keep moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. What happened then?
So, okay, so we're at the deputy, right?
Yep. What happened? They investigated you. What happened?
Well, they talked to me briefly and left. But they asked me no questions about my own safety. It was as if
I get it. As if they just didn't. They didn't consider your complaint. They were just talking about the old lady. Then what happened?
We move into a new phase where I begin hearing from the brothers. The brothers are affected by methamphetamine.
Meanwhile, were you still living there? Were you still living there?
I was.
Okay, so in all of this, you were still living with the woman you were accused of beating and with the two brothers who reported you.
Yes.
Then what happened?
And I was making my way out as I got better.
Okay.
Because I
get it. Keep going.
Having some success.
What happened? Keep going.
What I began to hear from the brothers was, you shouldn't have contacted those people. You brought the sheriff's department.
Right. They were upset. I get it. They were upset.
Yeah. Sure they were.
So where is all this going, Joseph? Where was all this going? What are you calling about today, Joseph? Joseph.
What I was told was that if I called the sheriff's department again, no matter how serious the beatings were, the sheriff's department offered to simply arrest me instead as a service to them.
I get it, Joseph. They're kind of thinking that maybe you're false reporting or something. Here's what I want to know, Joseph.
Yeah, but
Joseph, time for me now. Time for me. Time for you to be quiet, Joseph. Otherwise, we hang up and you go away. Okay? See, that's easy for me. You hang up, you go away. I really want to help, but I can only help if I get direction. I'm not going to let you ramble. That's not going to happen anymore. So here's what I want to know. Have you moved out of there?
Yes, I got it from others. You're a psychopath. Stop behaving this way.
Joseph, if you're not going to talk,
I'm disconnecting.
Do you want to hang up? Hang up if you want to. Go ahead. If you want help, stay on. Did he hang up? Okay, good. That's the best sound I heard all day. All right, Joseph. Sorry that happened. It was a lot of waste of time. People, we got to converse. You got to make a story. Did he move out? Where did he go? What's happening now? Never got to that, did he? And I know my YouTube morons used to tell me don't interrupt people, and I'm sick and tired of that because when I let people talk, we're here for 4 hours, and we still don't hear the story. So that's the way I'm conducting the show. You're welcome to tune out. I want to help people, but we got to get to the frickin' problem. We got more coming up.
Awesome.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
American Sagan Madalena just missed a medal today in Paris, finishing fourth in the women's 10-meter air rifle. Despite missing the podium, Madalena does more than enough to make America proud.
She is a sergeant in the U.S. Army, part of their marksmanship unit.
Also today, women's tennis star Coco Gauff advanced in the marquee men's match. Novak Djokovic eliminated Rafael Nadal.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Some good news over on the west end of town through Jeffco. I-70 westbound at Kipling Street. A recent vehicle fire has been all cleared out. We're back to highway speeds on I-70 westbound. However, the same can't be said of just north of there. I-76 westbound still seeing some pretty heavy traffic between Federal and the I-70 interchange. I-25 north and southbound, no major complaints through the metro area. Over on the east end, E-470 northbound, road construction continues between 64th and Pena Boulevard. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's another hot one out there today and throughout the rest of the week. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 97. Overnight low of 63. Tomorrow mostly sunny, high 98. The current temperature in Denver is 81 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Were Christians fooled by Sound of Freedom? This week on Red Pilled America, we talked to the Colombian woman who was portrayed as the supervillain in Sound of Freedom, and her story exposes the shocking truth behind the film that took the Christian community by storm. Listen to Red Pilled America wherever you hear podcasts.
So, 10-year anniversary for Simply Floors, Inc., and Buddy and Karen Mitchell had a pizza-making party. You made your own pizza, and then he had a pizza oven. Oh, man. The reason I'm telling you all this is because I met the company, the people, of course, and I've met them before. They're the greatest people. They love their customers. They love doing floor coverings. If you want not only the best floor coverings, but you want the best advice, the best installers, you want simplyfloorsinc.com. There's a reason that they're going even stronger after 10 years, and they'll go another 10 or 20 or 30, whatever. These people are golden. If you want floor covering advice and floor covering prices that are great and good installations and a great company, Simply Floors Inc., I-N-C, simplyfloorsinc.com. Hey, American Restoration is a company I really hope you never use or never need. I hope you use them if you need them, because a property catastrophe can be anything from a fire, a flood, a broken pipe, an unattended death, a discovery of black mold, or maybe asbestos. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen to a property, and you need a company to eradicate the danger first, stop further damage, and then help rebuild. American Restoration does all of that. Here's the important part. Your insurance company pays for this most of the time, but they'll only pay once. And if they recommend a company that's schlock, and most of the time that's what they do, they want someone cheap and dirty. You want American Restoration. So call the right company first with EPA certifications, license, knowledge, and know-how. 8337-AM-REST. 8337-AM-REST. Or online, amrest247.com.
I didn't hit it. It wouldn't go.
So
all right.
What do I classify that other call as?
That guy was a freaking crazy dude.
Yeah, well, we're all a little
See?
crazy. It's just too bad.
There you go. You didn't listen to a word I said, crazy Kachina.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of crazy, did you see any of the opening ceremonies, especially any body parts dangling out of underwear?
No, there was?
Yeah. For about 6 minutes, a dude had the boys hanging out. Which leads me to the old joke that I always knew that the French were crazy, but now I can see their nuts.
Oh, you're weird.
No, I'm not, but thank you. You know, they say it wasn't the Last Supper. It was a baklava, not baklava, a bacchanal. It was the Greek Dionysus dinner party thing, which is fine. I mean, they're celebrating what?
Trust me, Shannon sent me the funniest text this morning.
Well, you were upset by a host on another station, and I said he can't change his ways. He's retarded. But that's an inappropriate thing.
Hey, Kachina, right? I'm going to text you an outbound.
Okay.
His name is Ken.
Not Deputy Doc?
No. So yeah, they weren't making fun of the Last Supper. They were just doing an homage to Greek sodomy and pedophilia, and that's fine. That's fine. I bet a long time ago those could have been Olympic sports. You remember they used to perform in the nude until there was some sort of horrible javelin incident. What?
Shannon, I
What?
swear to God.
The original Olympics were naked. What do you want?
Have you ever pocket texted?
I've played pocket billiards. What do you mean?
Pocket tested.
Yep. Well, they say, butt dialed. Yeah. I wonder what the worst thing is I've accidentally... Oh, here we go.
0. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve your problems, answer your questions, and take your complaints. And Mark has a tenant-landlord question about the new laws. And, man, there are a lot of new laws. What's happening?
Yeah, thanks for taking my
call,
Tom.
What's going on, man?
The question I have is, so I'm a landlord. I have a couple of properties, 2 properties, and I have a tenant that is continually just a month late on paying their rent, and their lease comes up September 30th. And, I mean, I'm trying to just figure out if I do, like, the demand for compliance, which is to get caught up, and then
now, when you say caught up, did they ever miss a month, or are they just late?
They're about 30 days late. I mean, they'll give me like $300 this week, and then they'll give me or beginning of July, and then they'll give me $100 a week later.
So in other words, they
they
finish paying for July at the end of the month.
Or into August, they will.
And then what do they do about August?
They kind of get that to me, hopefully along the way in August or September is kind of how it works.
Well, you can. That's a reason to end the lease.
Okay.
I mean, it's non-compliance with the terms of the lease, which is payment due by a certain date. Do they pay late fees?
No, it's in the contract for them to pay the late fees, but I'm just trying to get my main rent.
Wait a
out
minute.
of them, so
have you been charging them late fees?
I have not.
Well, then, okay, do you have an accrual of late fees? Can you keep track of all of them? Because they have to pay those. That would be another reason to let them go if they don't pay them.
Yeah, it's probably about $500 or $600 this year so far. So. In late fees, yeah, okay.
Now, you're asking, should you give them a chance to cure? Yes.
And I've done that, and I did put that demand for compliance.
Good.
I had to stop by twice. They weren't there. I put it on their door, and so they have 10 days to cure. I'm just wondering, is the rest of this process, should I hire somebody to do this?
Okay,
or is it
that's a good question. In other words, can you simply say you're not renewing the lease for cause and give them the proper notice? When is the lease up?
September 30th.
Okay, just so you know,
2 months from.
just so you know, you don't have to wait till the end of the lease. You can evict them as well. So let's get Brad O'Brien on and see what he thinks in general. Okay? 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. Hang on, we're going to get Brad O'Brien on and see what he has to say about it. By the way, it's been scorching heat, and then you're going to have your furnace being used in a couple months. 888heating.com can go through the whole system. Check it out. Free second opinions if you're told you need a new one. Good, honest people that you can trust. 303-770-2776.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Some good news over on the west end of town through Jeffco. I-70 westbound at Kipling Street. A recent vehicle fire has been all cleared out. We're back to highway speeds on I-70 westbound. However, the same can't be said of just north of there. I-76 westbound still seeing some pretty heavy traffic between Federal and the I-70 interchange. I-25 north and southbound, no major complaints through the metro area. Over on the east end, E-470 northbound, road construction continues between 64th and Pena Boulevard. Fox 31, pinpoint weather. It's another hot one out there today and throughout the rest of the week. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 97. Overnight low of 63. Tomorrow mostly sunny, high 98. The current temperature in Denver is 81 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Were Christians fooled by Sound of Freedom? This week on Red Pilled America, we talked to the Colombian woman who was portrayed as the supervillain in Sound of Freedom, and her story exposes the shocking truth behind the film that took the Christian community by storm. Listen to Red Pilled America wherever you hear podcasts.
So, if you are looking for exterior home improvements of any kind or hail damage repair, from the roofing, soffits, fascia, that's along the eaves of the roof, and siding or stucco, windows, doors, decks, and painting, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I like Genesis because they can do it all on one invoice, one point of contact. They can also do home improvements of all kinds, inside and out. Of course, they specialize in exterior. They're also doing mold detection and remediation. 303-679-8509. A company you can trust. 303-679-8509. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. Now, what is a criminal defense attorney advertising for? Because he knows people do stupid things like a DUI or smoking weed. You know, they're both considered DUIs, weed or alcohol. Here's the point. You can't go through system alone, even if you want to plead guilty. I mean, it's foolhardy to do so. There are so many things you have to do it properly. Now, you may have other complications with the law, whatever it is. Joe Lazzara will give you free consultation, always call him. And then a flat rate price for whatever you need him for. 303-429-6200. And it's Lazzara, Lazzara. You can find him at referralist.com. John Fuller does personal injury for people, the personal injury law, negotiating settlements for injuries, going after people for injuries when you have been injured. You know, so many people wonder, what is my case worth? Is it worth pursuing? And it's not that they're money hungry, it's that they maybe lost work, wages, vacations, they have their car destroyed, they don't know what to do. So if you call John Fuller, you will get free legal advice up front, and he'll go over your case, and he'll tell you what your case is worth. It's that simple, or what he believes it's worth based on his vast experience, and then where you go to collect. You can make a decision what you want to do from there with no obligation. If you hire John, he works on a percentage fee basis, and you get a cell phone number that you can call or text at any time. John Fuller, 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500. myaccidentlawyer.co. myaccidentlawyer.co.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Always think of Ethel Merman when you say that.
Gosh.
What? Gotta pee.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, he's back.
Oh my God.
Just
Shut
when
up.
I thought he was what?
He's alive. Oh my God.
You know, here's the deal.
Tell me, baby. Tell me, baby.
Nah, never mind. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, what'd you rebuild, by the way? You guys were rebuilding a dirt bike?
Yeah, Yamaha, 400 something cc. It's a rocket ship.
Is it a two-stroke or?
It's a regular like four-stroke, but it's a single cylinder, single cylinder.
Did you send out the head, or what'd you guys do?
We
Just
did.
bore it yourself?
We didn't have to bore it. We bought a new cylinder, and then the rings.
Nice.
The rings were pre-gapped, and then setting the cylinders setting the pistons in the cylinders are a pain in the ass. Then we had to do the timing chain off. Fuck, it's just a nightmare.
I rebuilt a 50cc moped a million years ago. It took me weeks in my
Now,
parents'
we didn't have
garage.
to do any machining, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do it. But we did have to get a broken bolt out of the case, and it was an amazing thing to watch. I mean, we actually did it. I started with it.
So is it done and running?
It's done and not running yet because we have to just we're assembling the bike.
Got it.
He bought it for a really cheap price, and it's a real. So we just went through the whole thing, and at one time I think it's a 2004, but at one time it was. I mean, right now that bike to replace would be $6,500.
Yeah, good running dirt bike, and they sell very well in Colorado, man.
So it's worth the investment because he only bought it for $600, I think.
Yeah, plus it's kind of cool you guys are doing that together. So I have to get a toilet seat for the RV?
Ooh, get a fuzzy one.
I just want you to
Well, just
guess.
trying to find the damn thing.
No, I found them. They're they're not everywhere, but they're out there. Remember, these toilets are those shit blenders.
Oh, you got a macinator?
Yeah, how much do you think toilet seat, just the seat, so the cover and then the part under the cover? Just take a guess, man.
I'd say something crazy at 70.
70? God, I'd buy 2 of them just for the hell of it.
Hey, you put it back.
Radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, denverregen.com for stem cell therapy. And I had that therapy done, by the way, and I was in so much freaking pain. I almost didn't do the surgery. You might want to know why I did it eventually. Anyway, I did it on purpose because of the deteriorating bone was going to flare up sometime in the future. But the point I'm making is real stem cell therapy works, where they extract the stem cells and re-inject them, regen. It's denverregen.com. And welcome to the show. Mark, you did finally get in, right, on an access here, so you're in. And
I'm here, baby.
Okay, so we have Brad O'Brien on, who is our real estate expert, olslaw.com. He's a real estate attorney. And there's a good question, Brad. I don't know if we've ever had this question directly, but Mark is a landlord, and Mark has a tenant who through the year of the lease has been chronically late. So, for example, on July's rent, he'll pay some of it late, some of it on the 15th, some of it on the 25th. By the end of the month, he may have it all paid. Or it goes into August. Then he starts paying on August. But he's chronically late and doesn't pay any of the late fees called for in the lease either. Now, he wants to know, does he have to let the guy know I'm not renewing your lease and why? Or how does that work under the just cause laws that were just passed?
Yes, you'd have to give a 90-day notice that he's not going to renew the lease past its termination. And one of the stated reasons allowing you to do that is that they've been late on the rent at least 3 times, each time by more than 10 days, or 10 days minimum. But each time, the landlord has to give that written 10-day notice, and the tenant didn't cure it. So there's a lot to do.
Okay, so 90 days. I think you're already late. then. Is that true, sir?
Well, no. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Mark, are you?
Yeah, it sounds like I'm already late because the lease comes up. It expires in September 30th, so I probably have to go to October 30th or 31st. And then from what it sounds like, what Brad was saying is every month that they're late, I need to start the eviction process and have that done at least, you said, 3 times?
Right, a 10-day notice.
Wait a minute. So he has to give out 3 10-day notices before he can call them chronically late?
Yes, in order to have grounds to not renew at the end of the term.
And you have, what if he hasn't done it? He has to now start from now?
That's right.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, you can evict them for non-payment of rent.
Yeah, so that's okay. So let's not talk about the lease right now. But let's just say right now, are they paid up for July?
No.
Are they paid up for June?
$1,700
Are they paid up for June?
Yes.
Okay, so you can evict them based on not paying July and in a few days for not paying August. You might. Do you feel that they're going to have July paid by, what is it, tomorrow or the next day?
No.
Okay, so will they have August ready?
No.
So then you can file for an eviction for 2 months of non-payment.
Okay. Do I have to wait until August 10th, I guess, or 10 days after the beginning of August?
Now, why did you pick 10 days? Did you hear that somewhere?
It just kind of my head is as far as like.
Well, Brad, let's say August. Let's say August 2nd and 3rd or 3rd. Does the lease call for a payment of August 1st?
Yes.
So let's say August 2nd or 3rd. Neither July has been completed, nor August has been done. Brad, can he file for eviction right then, or the 10-day notice, or whatever?
Yeah, when the rent is 1 day late, then you can give the 10-day notice, and then if they don't pay within that 10 days, that's when you can file a court complaint for eviction.
Okay, and can they keep? Can they come back to me?
Hold on, sir. We have to. Brad O'Brien, 720-370-7388. More coming right up.
Thank you. What do we want to do? Try to get Brian?
No. We pretty much we can take him.
Well, he said the best part right then.
What did he say?
The 10-day file. Do a notice and then 10 days. That was it. That was the money shot.
And it didn't get out on the air?
It was on the air.
Okay, good.
Yep.
So what we'll do is just take the landlord back if he wants to, because I remember what Brad said. We can just.
Oh, he just went away. So
okay, fine.
We'll give Brad a lick if he's still on hold. And
so, Mark, did you say how much is the toilet seat?
Really
$765.
Why?
I don't understand.
I don't know why. I'm trying to find it through a different place. That's through Newmar, but I'm having a hell of a time finding it.
Oh, Newmar's selling it that way. Well, who actually makes the toilet?
It's called, hold on a sec. It'll come to me. I'm buying another part. I had to get a sensor, too, for our fresh tank water, and it's a pressure sensor. It's not a float. It's kind of cool how it works. It's all by pressure, and it's very accurate, but it's not because it's broke.
Yeah.
Newmar wanted $340 for it. I found it at a Healand Electronics, which I've never heard of.
Did you get the part number and search it? That's what I do.
Yeah.
I take the actual component number and search it and find the suppliers sometimes.
But the problem I'm having with this toilet seat, man, is I'm not finding it. It's almost like they made this particular toilet for freaking Newmar or something.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Oh.
Have
All
you
right.
keyed yet?
Yeah, I did.
You sound like you're still.
No, the computer is still acting up. You might have to put a trouble ticket in.
Yeah, they'll get right on that.
I know you don't want to, but can you please do so for me?
It's weird. It's not even a want to.
It's called, the brand is called Dometic. Domei. ETIC.
The best company for those products.
Oh, is it really?
Oh my gosh, refrigerators.
That's what all
everything.
the freezer. We have a deep freeze underneath,
Yeah,
and then of course
yeah.
a full size are all Dometic.
Oh, and that's top of the line. That is number one.
It's amazing that deep freeze can run off just batteries for like a week plus. That's amazing at 0 degrees plus
Right.
or minus.
Yeah, I bet, and I hope it's well insulated too down there. But still, that's fantastic. Wow, Joe Biden's height keeps changing. Has anybody noticed?
He's 7'3", man.
I saw that. And it's so weird. When he is really tall, Jill doesn't want to hold his hand. But when he's shorter, Jill is all over him.
It is weird how he changes height.
Yeah, you'd think Jill would play along even if he grew a few inches. But guess not. Gotta give it to her. She didn't want to rub on a stranger. All right.
I can't believe. Okay, so that toilet, if you wanted to buy one, it's like $2,000, man.
That I understand. Even the peat moss ones, what the hell are those? Either you put coconut husks in them or peat moss. The bio ones where you just churn up your poo and you can throw it anywhere after a week. Those can be $2,000.
This thing's nuts, man.
To poop in lawn shaving, and those toilets, the composting, that's what it's called. The composting toilets, you have to pee in a bottle, and then you have to keep it separated. You can't just pee in the same hole.
So each toilet in there has a macerator.
Yeah.
Then, if you want to use the third macerator as you're dumping, you can actually use a garden hose instead of hooking up the big connection because it goes through a third macerator.
3-inch, 4-inch, 5-inch tube, whatever they are, the big ones. Yeah.
No, it's literally, instead of using that, you can use a garden hose.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that wild?
It's a little like when Kramer had a garbage disposal in his shower.
And that's where he cooked the salad, or he was cooking dinner.
Cleaning salad and cooking in the shower.
They all started wanting to puke.
Oh.
That's where I made it.
That's great.
That is great. Larry David and Seinfeld, I don't know who did that episode, probably David. It's unbelievable they come up with that.
Well, and he swears that 80-90% of it was just in his life.
Oh, I bet it was. It fits to the that fits Kramer so perfectly. He could take the character, then the thing going on, and just match them up.
Oh.
I was watching quite a bit of Seinfeld in the RV.
Oh, I bet. How fun.
It was a great trip, man. We had a really good time. Vegas was too fucking hot. I will never go that direction again this time of year, ever. It was fine in the RV. We can keep it at, 70 degrees. I mean, the AC units work great. At 116, I was getting a little nervous. But the problem is you can't even, you don't go outside.
Right. Yeah.
You're not going to the pool.
No.
You're not taking advantage of any of the stuff they have.
Yeah. I don't think they can adjust the pad fee based on access to amenities. Although, do they have different seasonal rates at some of these places?
Yeah, so the one we're at, this one, I mean, it's top notch, man. So we had a full-blown kitchen, bar, TV area, everything outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still so hot. It's like you don't.
Oh, sure.
In the evening, I guess we sat out there one time, but so it was 190 a night. During the winter, they get about 350 a night.
Gotcha.
It's got 5 swimming pools.
Sure.
Tennis courts. What's that other one? The new one, not tennis, but the other things. Pickleball. And then it's got the resort is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Those are stunning.
It's called Las Vegas Motor Coach. The lot sell, this is ridiculous. I was looking at some of them. Now, remember, they got the build-outs, but I'd say even a really, really nice build-out is less than 150.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Here to help you with what we can. And we have a bunch of stuff to talk about. One of the things, I find it odd, and I really think about this. If we talk about things in the presidential elections, if the candidates and the parties talk about things affecting Americans, they always talk about the economy, of course, and they talk about immigration, right, the borders, and they'll talk about abortion and reproductive rights, and they'll talk about what other issues are hot buttons, homeless crisis possibly, that kind of stuff, right? Never once in all of the years of listening to candidates, they mention taxes too, right? But do they ever mention consumer fraud? I have never once, you hear crime, and defunding police or not defunding police, but you never, ever, 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 ever hear a candidate address consumer fraud.
Well, that's because they put under the crime banner. Tom.
Not really. When they talk about crime, they mostly talk about violent crime. They talk about that. But really, consumer fraud has always taken a backseat. No one has ever talked about it yet. I'll bet you more money is lost through consumer fraud than almost any other segment of life. It's fraud, especially cyber fraud. Now, the closest we came to addressing consumer legislation, the last president to do that would have been Obama with credit cards, late fees and stuff. He did a little to curb some of that. And payday loans, I think governments did something, I think on state levels, on the abusive nature of payday loans. And of course, a lot of people would say they're not abusive. But what I'm saying is just the topic. But can you imagine? It touches everyone, but they never talk about it. They never say we're going to go after the people who are scheming your parents and grandparents or whatever. Maybe it's not sexy and popular, but it's amazing that they never talk about it. Do you know, listen to this, that there's this one couple who had $2,393 taken from their account with electronic transfers from an employee of a bank or an insider who falsified records and took the money. It was the U.S. Attorney's Office that prosecuted this in the Western District of Missouri. Now, my hat's off to them that they found this 36-year-old woman, and she pleaded guilty to bank fraud. But guess what? No restitution from anyone. Not from the bank, at least not automatically. Now that might have to be a civil case, who knows? She drained accounts. So no, that wasn't one couple, I'm sorry. These were various accounts. She took $2,393,288. And she transferred the funds to herself and her family. Now, fraud like this is not unheard of. I mean, we get credit card fraud all the time, phishing fraud, delivery fraud. I mean, God, there's just so many. It's like people stay up at night thinking about fraud. And we don't really have a government that takes consumer fraud seriously. We really don't. I mean, they make busts now and then like this one, but it's not really up there on their list of bad guys. Bill, you want to talk about a prenup. What's going on?
Oh, hi, Tom Martino. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, Bill. What's going on?
Well, my father-in-law home was owned in trust, which was left to his children and grandchildren. He made a prenup with his then wife, which said that he could live in the house. She could live in the house rent-free for as long as she wanted. The prenup also stated there would be a set aside an amount of money that would be set aside for expenses.
Now, when did the father-in-law die?
About 3 years ago.
Okay, and keep going.
Okay, so there's now the big question here is there's about a third of that left, and we want to know is
a third of what? A third of what left?
Of the money left set aside to maintain the home. You know,
and what does the
HOAC.
prenup say? She could live there for her. Was it a life estate? She could live there her whole life.
Well, that's just it. It's open-ended. It says that when she leaves the residence or dies, the remainder of such funds shall be distributed to the.
Okay, but what does it say about her living in the home?
As long as she wants.
Okay, well then that's as long as she wants then. Okay, and then during that time, there was money set aside for maintenance, right?
Correct.
And when that money is used up, does it address what happens?
That's the problem. It doesn't.
Well, then it's not a problem because then she has to cover it.
Okay.
I don't see why. I mean, did she make noises about it?
No, as a matter of fact, we're not sure what she thinks is going to happen when that runs out, and we just want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row, or options that we have.
Okay. Now, I'm not giving legal advice. I mean, I would just assume if it's not addressed and there's a maintenance issue, who is the owner of the home?
The trust.
Okay. And she is simply living there. What happens when she leaves?
We would sell the house and distribute the
Is that what the
proceeds
trust
amongst
says? Is that what the trust document tells you to do?
It does, yes. It says the remainder of such funds shall be distributed if there's anything left over. And this is from a prenup.
Right.
The trust says we sell the property.
And how old is she?
About 81.
Okay. So what is your concern? What happens when the maintenance money runs out?
Yes. Does the trust have to continue?
You know what?
to
I don't
pay?
know the answer. I said she would be responsible. I mean, my gut, but I'm not sure she would be. I mean, she's like a tenant, really. She's living rent-free, but you guys, or the trust, owns the home.
Correct.
You know, well, let's ask our one of our estate planning attorneys.
Okay.
Let's try to get Dan McKenzie on.
Okay.
And let's just figure it out. Bill, we'll try to get an attorney on to address this. Again, somebody might say, well, the trust owns the house and she's simply living there. She should not need to be responsible. This was the money set aside in her name, or was it set aside within the trust?
It was set aside in trust.
So it's part of the trust that owns the house.
And she is not a part of any of the trust.
Well, then that would tell me that if the trust runs out of money to maintain the house, they're going to have to continue to maintain it another way. That's what it would tell me.
The trust?
Yeah.
You mean the trust?
Yeah, see, if she was given money to maintain the home, in my mind, it means that they thought she should maintain the home and he was going to give her a head start. But if the trust owns the home and the trust has money put aside for maintenance and that money's almost gone, then I think the trust would do one of two things. They either say we're not going to make the repairs or maintenance, or we're going to pay for it. I mean, I don't see why she would have to, because it was set aside for the trust, not for her. You're saying it was set aside for her, but it really wasn't. It was set aside for the trust.
It would, set aside to maintain the house.
Right. Okay, but that doesn't mean that the house doesn't get maintained. The trust has an obligation to maintain its asset.
Yes, it does.
No matter who's living there. I mean, what would you guys want? How many people are going to inherit the proceeds from this house?
11.
Okay. With those 11 people, and who's the trustee? Who's the one in charge?
My wife.
Would your wife want that house to deteriorate and not be maintained?
No.
Okay. I think you're kind of answering your own question. I mean, if the money runs out, what do? Well, you're the owner of the house. Your maintenance ran out. What do? You re-up it. I mean, you still maintain the house. Why wouldn't you? To me, it's more logical than legal, but I'm surprised the trust did not address it. But in the absence of a trust document addressing an item, it's up to the trustee to make their best judgment for that.
Okay. Yeah, we wanted to find out what options we had.
What were you thinking the options would be? That you could start charging her for it?
Would she then become a tenant, and then we could say, well, you have to pay for your utilities, you have to pay...
Well, it doesn't... Wait. So the trust was paying for the utilities too?
Yeah, utilities and repairs.
Well, utilities are not... Okay. So those are two
What did the
separate
person that... What did the person that died, what do you think they actually wanted? Do you think they wanted that person to be able to live there till they died or as long as they want and pay for that stuff? What do you think the intention was, just out of curiosity?
His intention was for us to, or the trust to, like a stipend of $100,000 for maintenance, utilities, HOA fees, and taxes, that kind of thing. What he would have wanted was, it's hard to say.
That's right. It is hard to say, Bill. Therefore, the trustee has to make up that. But you can't start charging her rent if it says she can live there as long as she wants rent-free. Does it say rent-free?
It doesn't. It just... Oh, it does say rent-free? It specifies rent-free then, yes.
If you guys want to get rid of it, here's what I do, honestly. I would talk to her and see if she'd take a cash offer to get out and move. I mean, maybe that would entice her, then you guys can
I think
sell
it would be cheaper to keep her. I think it would.
And that rhymes.
No, seriously, it would be cheaper because if she wants a cash deal, she's going to want part of the equity or something. And I think it's easier to... just pay there's not much, there can't be many utilities and maintenance for her. What is it amounting to? How much is left in the kitty?
There's a third left, so we got about a year and a half before we have to come to any kind of a conclusion.
Let's get we're going to get our attorney on, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, because really we should be talking to an attorney. Renew Home Innovations, beautiful bathroom conversions of that shower, that old shub. Do you know what a shub is? It's a shower and a tub. It's ugly. You step over, you got these ugly doors or curtains. They will redo that with a beautiful walk-in, no threshold to stumble over, great for older people too. And they customize it to your movements. In 2 or 3 days, they can get the entire project done. You have 72 months to pay with no interest. And no maintenance on these showers. They're so beautiful. RenewHomeInnovations.com, and you will love the way they do it. 303-904-2000.
Yep.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20
I need
years,
to separate
Abacus has
these
been
two, so
purchasing
I'm going
life
to do
insurance
K&H
policies
before
for seniors
Fuller.
just like you. And at abacuspays.com,
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you.
value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
The oldest home improvement company in Colorado is K&H Windows, and now known as K&H Home Solutions. And I've known all three owners. I know the current owner, Lee, and his his son. They do a great job. What I love about K&H are their quality products. They try to find things to enhance the beauty, thermal efficiency or energy efficiency, and no maintenance. And they found it with Alpine Window, the exclusive dealer for Alpine Window, which is made right here in Colorado, an efficient fiberglass reinforced and insulated frame and a great insulated glass unit, the IGU, second to none. 303-421-7100. Great windows, great company, khwindows.com. Hey, let's talk. An umbrella policy, what is it? Well, it's, as it implies, an umbrella that covers you for excess liability in all areas. It's an umbrella. Now, they require you have certain coverage before you can have an umbrella. But John Fuller, in addition to be our personal injury expert, what he does is he tells us about things we should have to make collection easier or protection easier if we ever get into trouble with our own injury or injuring others. So John Fuller, I have a question about umbrella coverage when it comes to the legal sense. What about if you loan your car out to someone? Where does your insurance cover that driver, and does umbrella come into it?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tom. So we all know that your liability coverage will cover a permissive driver. So if you loan your vehicle out, they're covered. They don't have to get their own coverage, and everything's fine. The trick is that umbrella policy, although it is an additional liability policy and it extends your liability coverage, umbrella policies will likely not cover a person that you loan your vehicle out to. They only cover those people that are living in the same residence as the policy holders. And so if you loaned it to your neighbor or your brother or anything like that, that umbrella is not going to pay. And so you need to keep that in mind when you decide whether or not to loan your vehicle. The other thing that can come into play is if you have a kid in the household who might have been covered today, but who goes off and moves out into an apartment or something, but is still driving one of the family vehicles, guess what? That kid is no longer going to be covered under the parent's umbrella policy. So there's all these tricks of the trade that the insurance company uses primarily to avoid the ability or avoid the obligation to pay, and you need to be aware of these tricks so that you can make smart decisions about your coverage. If ever you have any questions, or God forbid you're ever in an accident that I can be of assistance with, feel free to give me a call. This is what I do every day, and I can help.
Yeah, and he'll let you know what he thinks the accident, the injuries are worth, where to collect, how to collect, what the battle will look like. myaccidentlawyer.co, 303-597-4500. 303-597-4500. That's John Fuller. Hey, if you're looking for the best when it comes to roofing, the best when it comes to roofing practices, the best when it comes to roofing payments, and avoiding ripoffs, you want Excel Roofing, as in excellent. I know Jay Bretz and his son Henry personally. I know the whole family, but those two are running the company. And you know what? ExcelRoofing.com is the company you want on your side. First and foremost, they don't do stupid, tricky, fraudulent things like make you sign at the door before they look at your roof. They'll gladly look at your roof and give you a full and complete detailed contract without any obligation. Even after you sign, there's no payment due until you're absolutely content. As they say, you don't pay a cent until you're content. ExcelRoofing.com, the company I know and trust, and you can too. 303-761-6400. 303-761-6400.
I cut off your second phone number. My fault.
Jesus. Okay, why?
What?
Why?
You said the number, and you had that little lilt at the end, and I hit the brake. So
Lilt.
The number was only on once. Sorry. We were kind of going along there.
No, we actually weren't. If you look at the goddamn stopwatch, I wasn't. I have one right here in front of me.
Does it look like the one that Salvador Dali painted? Tom's perception of time.
Hey, did we get Mackenzie?
Oh, she was out for that. We need another
Mackenzie,
estate planner.
bro. We need Mackenzie.
Needing Mackenzie. Efforting.
Got it.
Let's make it snappy there.
Oh.
Come on, Kelly, step it up.
Got it.
You know, there's another toilet seat that's kind of fun. One of those clear acrylic things, but it has razor blades in it. That would scare people.
I just found one, okay?
Yeah.
At Boat and RV Accessories. Same exact. In fact, it's the newer model number made by Dometic. It's not like an off-brand. It's same shit.
Yeah.
Haha. See how I
You
said
did?
shit?
Is it the same size?
Well, everything. It's made for my exact model, same part number.
Back.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We're going to get an attorney on to talk about the issue with Bill and his prenup to find out what's his best course of action. Meanwhile, somebody texted me and wants to know, why can't we use marijuana or hemp oil for fuel for our vehicles and equipment? Actually, I don't know if hemp oil actually, I don't know. I don't know if it can be used. I don't even know if it's physically possible. Can you imagine, though? Think of a creative name for a car that
probably
runs
get 3 miles to a gallon.
Hotmobile. Actually, I don't know the answer. I do know that all kinds of oils have been experimented with, and not all oils can be refined into a gasoline fuel. Now, as far as diesel kind of compression engines, I'm not even sure about the volatility of different oils. I mean, I really am not. It is a good question. Perhaps we should. Do we know any people that I'm not ordinary mechanics? I don't think would know that, but I would like to know the compressibility and combustibility of regular oil. I mean, diesel oil is petroleum based, and of course they use the compression in a diesel to fire that off with a glow plug. Can you fire off any oil is my question. And when I put that open question out there, that's for everyone, including, even though I hesitate to ask, my YouTube morons. Again, you know, you got to take them with a grain of salt. Most of them, that is. So 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We'll try to find that out as far as the oils that can be used for fuel. I really don't know the answer to that. And let's see, we got other questions coming in. Here's one here. Okay. Is SaferNet still in business? Mark, do you know that or not?
Yeah, they are. They've had some struggling issues. I've had a few complaints on them, honestly.
Do you know what the issues are?
Yeah, so we know a lot about apps because at one point we were building one. So anytime Apple or even Samsung or Google creates a new download for your phone, a new operating system, whatever, new security, they have to rebuild the app, and they're very slow at it. So a lot of times the app just isn't working until they update it. Once it's all updated, it's fine. But that's why these app companies, I mean, they have complete divisions that are always just rebuilding the app because they're always rebuilding the iOS.
And they're in a space that is very competitive and very difficult as a smaller operator. I mean, it really is. Because right now, VPNs, there's so many of them. And frankly, I mean, I like the guys at SaferNet, and they do a really good job, or they did. I loved it. I had it. My kids are now older. I don't really use it for them. But my question is, and they, of course, it's not just for filtering for kids. It's all supposed to be for cyber attacks and all of that. But my question is, how do they stand up to the bigger guys? I mean, really, is it like jousting at windmills? Is it difficult to be competitive in that space? I would say so, Mark. What do you think?
Interesting. I say, for example, like on Windows, long as you have the newest version, Windows whatever, and long as you keep Defender, what's built in, up to date, I find zero need for anything in Windows. For Android, I find pretty much zero as long as you're not dumb or naive and go for phishing scams, which a lot of those things aren't going to help you with anyhow. And then...
Yeah, if you fall victim to those, you're absolutely right.
And same with iOS. So long as you keep everything updated, I'm not a big fan of Norton or McAfee. I think they're a complete ripoff at this stage. But that's about it.
Okay, so what do you think? And again, I don't use them. We have our own algorithms and all of that. I don't want to get into that right now. But trading applications, trading apps, they're not talking about like Ameritrade. They're not talking about that. They're talking about apps that tell you how to trade and what to buy and what to sell. Have you ever looked at those, Mark?
No. We had, I think she passed away, unfortunately, or at least she retired. But we had a lady that did reverse mortgages forever.
Oh, no, she didn't pass away.
Oh, good. So Joan's still there. She just retired. So what was remarkable, and this is going back about 5 years, she had a subscription to this app, and I watched it, and I was really impressed by it. And it would tell her what to buy and when to sell constantly. So she would log on to her Ameritrade account.
Really?
She'd get through an app, okay, sell this amount of this amount of this.
Really?
Just constantly, and it did pretty well.
You know, I wonder if anybody has used a trading app. Now, again, I'm not talking about a platform, but something that really tells you what to do. I've always believed that you can't really, you can't really tell someone what, unless you're just picking stocks. That's a whole different thing, right? Anyway, 303-713-TALK. I'd love to know, and so would this texter. And by the way, you can text me as well, 747-999-5280. That's 747-999-5280. I'd love to know your experiences as well with trading apps. Now, we're waiting to get our estate planning attorney on about the prenup to see what do you do when there's holes in it. Do you go to the trust document? If it doesn't address it, what do you do? And then we're also waiting on any kind of experience you may have had with a trading app. I'm Tom Martino. We have more coming right up.
Yep.
This hour from the Trajan Wealth K-House Studios. Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Starting on the south end of town, an incident on Bellevue eastbound has the road closed between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive. Details are vague on this one as of the time of this reporting. Of course, we will keep you updated as we get more information on that one. Heading out west, 6th Avenue westbound, we've got a crash between I-70 and Colfax blocking 2 right lanes. Slow traffic back from Union Boulevard and Sims. Into downtown, I-25 north and southbound, we're showing highway speeds. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies, high 97, nice and hot out there. We're seeing similar temperatures all throughout the rest of the week. Overnight low of 63, sunny tomorrow with a high of 98. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 K.
Time with family, laughs with friends, and cash back? Discover's got you covered on the last one. That's because Discover doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with Cash Back Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
I love companies that come into your home and do a smash-up great job. Fix It 24/7 for plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, one of those companies, and they want to offer free second opinions because really they have found that some people who were told they need new complete furnaces do not need them. They can fix them. That's why they call it Fix It 24/7. First they try to fix, and then, of course, if you want to replace, they'd love to take a stab at your business. Fix It 24/7, 720-526-3939. And I have on right now my Whole House fan. I love my Whole House fan. Quiet, cool, the Whole House fan. And why do I tout this so much? Because I truly am a customer. Now listen, when I first was thinking about buying this, I wasn't thinking I'm going to buy this because they're going to be a sponsor. I wanted to just see what a Whole House fan would do because I was told so much about them and I read so much about them. And what it does is destratify the air. That's the main function, okay? It makes the temperatures more even in your home so you don't have really hot upstairs and really cold down or really just uneven temperatures. That alone helps your AC work less, but then it can also substitute for AC on cooler mornings or cooler evenings, even though it takes your house a while even if it's really insulated well, it takes it a while to get in those cool temperatures or to expel the hot unless you have a whole house fan. So it really does steps up the efficiency of your home. And I love mine. They take a couple hours to install, and then you will have a lifetime of savings because it's just incredible. Okay, I want you to check them out. That's qccolorado.com, 303-800-3419.
You're awfully good at that.
Thank you, sir.
3.5 if you need to go wee-wee.
Oh, thanks. I'm gonna go coffee.
Oh, sure. A little incoming before you have to outgoing.
All right, I got nobody.
And you're gonna like it. TikTok tracks users' views on abortion, guns, and other political topics. No kidding. I count on it for that.
I'm not on TikTok.
Oh my, I love it. But I completely understand what I'm doing. It is absolute bias confirmation, echo chamber. The handful of people that I follow are all either black or gay Trump supporters who have flipped in the last couple of years. I can't believe what my former Democrat Party is doing. And
you know what my husband
God,
loves?
great,
My husband loves Reddit. Are you on Reddit at all?
I only go there to look up horrible stuff.
Okay.
Does anybody have the unedited video of the person falling from the... That's what I get.
Hello.
How may we help you?
Hello.
I'm Batman.
Hello, I'm Batman.
He will literally spend hours like going down rabbit holes on Reddit. It's amazing.
Pink fleshy rabbit holes.
I found the toilet seat for $130.
We are so proud.
I can't believe it. Same exact part, model number, everything.
There
Those
you go.
Bastards at Newmar.
Well, I know what I'm getting into sometimes when I go back to the original company to try to get a part or something. I know what I'm doing.
We bought that little portable freezer, plugs into 12 volt, or you can plug it into 110.
Is it Dometic or?
No, I wasn't going to spend. Well, the one in the RV is
$700. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's for the back of the car. So, when
sure.
you go to King Supers or whatever.
That's a good one. IceCo is number 2. That's the one I have. So Dometic's
IceCo.
number 1. IceCo is usually regarded as number 2 in the biz.
Nice. So does yours go 110 or plug
12
in?
volt, yeah.
Or 12 volt, yeah.
And then it has an external battery.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
This one you can buy a battery for too.
Yep. And it'll do a day, depending on conditions, it'll do about a day on the battery. And the battery's about this, I don't know, about the size of a little purse or something. But no, it's great. It's freaking great. Mine's a single zone. I think we've talked about this.
So this cheap one I bought's a double zone, and it works good. One side's a freezer, one's 32 or 33, whatever.
Yeah. This one will go down to 6 below, but it's just the one space. Oh, crap, we're coming back. Hope Tom's done with his coffee run.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yay.
630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. And I do have some people that use some trading apps we'll talk to. And then we have Bill waiting for our estate planning attorney, one of them, to talk about the prenup. And let's talk to Bill on the comment on the stock market. Go ahead, Bill. What's going on?
Hey, I haven't used no app. I think I called you before on this. But I watched the stock market shows on TV, like Kramer particularly.
Yeah.
And I took about it's been about 10 years. I took $100,000, and I got about $750 right now.
And it took 10 years?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. What did you do, Bill, in general? Mostly buy and hold, or did you do a lot of trading?
Yeah, took his recommendations, and then I bought Apple when Apple was super duper cheap.
Yeah.
I bought Google when it was dirt cheap. All the big names when it was real cheap.
Mm-hmm. And what do you do now, Bill?
What do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
What you wish you were doing? Nothing.
No, I'm talking about with your money.
It's just sitting there. I'm just a tiny bit older than you, and I'm pretty sure I'll be 73 next year. And
if you think about it, the Dow Jones 10 years ago was sitting around 16,000, 17,000, Tom. Now we're at 40,000.
If you did an indexed fund, you'd do pretty well just in an indexed fund.
Well, I'm going to change to that. But see, when Trump was in office, it was going up, up, up. I'd even have more if Trump still was in office. And then when Biden took over, it kind of dropped.
Well, it really didn't drop with Biden. It dropped because of COVID, and to be fair, the stock market's been doing. I'm not making a political statement here, but the stock market's been doing fabulously, except for 1 year under Biden.
Right. I guess so.
But on the good year, it did have the really good year, like in 23. There were only two rallies that did that.
Remember, they thought when Trump won, they thought it was going to tank, and it opened like 800-900 lower, or even more. I forget, but it was ridiculous. And within, I think, that first trading day after the election, man, it skyrocketed. But everybody was like, "Oh, if he wins, it's going to tank."
Yeah, and we're resilient as far as a country goes, and the stock market does somewhat follow politics, but not as much as we think. Am
I still on with you?
What's that?
Am I still with you?
Yes, you are.
Do you know when do we have to start taking a mandatory withdrawal?
72.
It's a year that you turn 73, right?
I thought it was, okay, that would be after this, but after your 72nd birthday, I believe.
Well, no, they changed it to 73, I think. They just changed it recently.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I know it was earlier, but in any case, you have to take a certain percentage.
I don't even know.
The percentage is already laid out. I don't know what it is either. But
see, all my money's in stocks.
But is it? You only have to take mandatory retirement if it's in a qualified fund where taxes have been deferred. That's the reason you have.
Mine is.
What's that?
Mine is. I'm at Vanguard. It's from when I worked. It was a 401, and I rolled it over to an IRA so I could open a brokerage account.
Okay, so your 401k or your tax deferred, it has to be taken out at 73, but it's only for the part of it that's tax deferred, right? You're right. And that's all of it. You have a retirement account.
Right. Yeah, all of it is tax-free, right?
Right, or tax deferred, right. And so...
Okay, I just wondered because I know I have to start getting ready to do something.
Yeah, but you don't have to take out more, but do you live on Social Security?
I get Social Security and a pension. I'm retired from Excel.
Okay. And what did you do for Excel?
I worked in the power plants.
Okay. All right, Bill.
Okay.
By the way, only one thing I disagree with you on. And you said, I asked you what you were doing, and you said what I wish I was doing, nothing. I don't understand what... I will never do nothing.
Do you want to stay at home now?
No. I will never do nothing.
I'm the same way. I mean, I'm bored because...
I will never do nothing. Never do nothing. In fact, I'm working on an entirely new career. I love working and having fun. Now, obviously, I don't want to toil. I mean, obviously, people don't want to be stressed out the rest of their lives and all of that. They want to have more control, I would say, and that is what you enjoy. You have control. You can go to work if you want or not if you want, and that's a good thing to have.
Right. Well, I don't want to work. My wife just retired, so we're ready to do it. I think I called you before about it.
Well, then you should be a deputy if you want meaning.
Yeah, but I've got.
Yeah, what? What do you do? What do you do all day? Tell me what you do.
Nothing, but I get
nothing. No, it's impossible to do nothing. What do you do all day?
Nothing.
Well, where do you sit? Do you stand? Do you walk? What do you do?
Well, I sit outside and watch the neighbors and let them entertain me.
Jeez.
I fight with my neighbors, fight with my wife, then watch TV.
What a great life. Yeah, absolutely defines nothing.
Right. Well, COVID kind of screwed everything up.
Yeah.
See, what happened with me was I stopped working, and I worked a lot of overtime. My kids grew up.
Yeah.
Graduated college. Everything ended at once.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
So, and then see, we thought, my wife's family is homesteaders, all of them. And I'm the one that's called you up about out there by Rhino and stuff out there. And we thought we were going to end up out there. Well, the aunt sold it.
Well, listen, I have a very silly question. What gives meaning to your life, Bill?
Well,
I'm asking. That's all. Just you don't have to tell me.
My wife might hear me, so I can't say too much.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I like doing stuff. I got lots of hobbies. I like to shoot guns, not to kill people. I just like shooting them. I don't know. I really wanted to travel, and then COVID screwed everything up.
Okay, travel. Okay, that's cool. Well, thanks, Bill, for calling. Always appreciate you listening, man. And I just, like I said, every now and then want to dig a little deeper than the normal call. Now, we have another Bill on the line, too, waiting for the prenup answer. Hey, Kachina, talk to me here. We estate planning, we don't have any of them available?
Yeah, she's on the phone.
Well, let's get one of them, man. Let's get one of them.
To us. Sorry.
Let's get one of them on. We got more right after this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate.
Starting on the south end of town, an incident on Bellevue eastbound has the road closed between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive. Details are vague on this one as of the time of this reporting. Of course, we will keep you updated as we get more information on that one. Heading out west, 6th Avenue westbound, we've got a crash between I-70 and Colfax blocking 2 right lanes. Slow traffic back from Union Boulevard and Sims. Into downtown at 25 north and southbound, we're showing highway speeds. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies, high 97, nice and hot out there. We're seeing similar temperatures all throughout the rest of the week. Overnight low of 63, sunny tomorrow with a high of 98. The current temperature in Denver is 89 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 K.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
You know, the first thing you see in a home, floor coverings. If you want to get your house ready to sell, floor coverings could do it. Or you just move in and you want to get something really beautiful. Nothing beats hardwoods. You know, if you want to know the right floor for the right places, Buddy and Karen Mitchell, they are wonderful when it comes to simplyfloorsinc.com. They have a whole company of people ready, willing, and able to help you. They'll visit you at your home. You can go see them at one of 3 showrooms in Aurora, and then near DTC, basically not too far from there. And then you have 52nd and Ward. You can go online and find out more. Simply, you won't find better selection, better people, better installers ever. Simplyfloorsinc.com. Red Rocks Roof and Solar. I can say the same about them when it comes to solar systems because I just love the way they do business. They'll consult you, free of charge, answer all of your questions. Brooke and her team are filled with information, and they'll pick the right system for you. They know about tax credits, and they know about financing, and they know about what to do with tax credits, for example. If you can't use them, you can sell them. They know about commercial systems and grants to get them fully paid for. RedRocksRS.com, 303-704-2449. You know, Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, I'm a customer or a client. They're a financial advisement firm. They help you shore up your retirement. They look at everything you have, not just the elements like a 401k, maybe an IRA or whatever, or Roth, but they look at other things too, like estate plans and real estate and all of your other investments. And they don't really do any one thing, but they coordinate your retirement so it complements, the elements complement each other. so you can sustain a nest egg and maybe produce income from that nest egg as well, while having some of it in safety and growth. Why don't you find out what they do for you? Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies, 970-663-3211. Call them, no obligation whatsoever to meet with them, rpcenter.com. Find out what they can do for you, 970-663-3211.
Audio.
Awfully good.
Thank you.
It doesn't have to be video. Just like I do with the
Okay,
West
I just heard
Africans.
from Mackenzie, and
Yeah,
he's
they good?
and he's free.
Yay!
Did you get him on, or you want me to?
No,
You
I
wanna?
can do it.
I mean,
You
I
are
could do
doing
it from here. What's it?
He
Whatever.
has not texted me back.
I'm going to say Kelly will call you now.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, I'm doing it right now. All right, good. I just texted him.
Very exciting.
Is Mark still on?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Hello.
So I never heard of some of these things, these trading things, but there's something called acorns.
Yeah, that's one that rounds up, right? When you
have
make a
no
purchase.
I don't know. Wait, no.
Yeah, you buy something and it and you authorize it to round up. Shut up. It's
This
gonna
is
work.
a trading app.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does that. Yeah, Acorns is one of them that rounds up purchases and puts pennies into the mutual funds that you've designated. To the best of my knowledge. Somebody
That's kinda
correct me
smart.
If I'm wrong. Yeah, it really is. Only because you hardly notice it, and you know that.
And what do you do with the roundup money?
It goes into whatever mutual fund you've set aside. Like you pick
Oh,
an
I see
ETF
what
or
you're
something.
saying.
Yeah, you pick an ETF or something.
Oh, very cool.
For you start an account, let's say $200-300, and then every purchase you make, it will round up a pre-designated amount and deposit it.
Shannon, it's not going to work.
No, it's gonna work. Just bend over and relax.
No.
What?
It's not going to work.
It's working.
You're talking about video versus audio.
Oh, Jiminy Christmas. We do Zoom calls all the time on KOA for guests. They don't have to have their camera on. That's always what I tell the West African scammers. Go ahead, call me back. You don't even have to have your camera on.
Are you
baby.
saying she can't get the guy on? I can call him.
No, we're trying to do a Zoom call for Ryan's show later. And And we have the McKenns. We have Spud McKenzie. Good
The
to go.
McKenzie, babe.
Remember Spuds?
Ugly.
Ugly dog?
All I need to do is send out a Zoom call?
Yeah, and then we just get him on and use the audio. He's just on his phone. Because you're saying he doesn't have...
He doesn't have cell coverage in Paris.
Fine. If he has a laptop plugged into a thing somewhere, we'll get him on Zoom.
See, that's the problem. I don't know if he has that.
Oh, my God. If I hurt my hand hitting you, I'm going to be so pissed.
Hey.
What? That's a problem? Oh, here we go. Coming back.
KHOW, an iHeartRadio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, we have Dan McKenzie from McKenzie Law, and he does estate planning kind of, law for trusts and wills and all of that. And Dan, I got a question for you here. If a trust doesn't address a specific item, how do you handle it in general, or specifically what would you do? But here's the situation. There is a trust that Bill's wife is involved in, and it's for the siblings and for the relatives, and it's the father's estate. When he died, he wanted his then current wife to live in his home for as long as she wants. And he has the home in a trust, and she is to live there rent-free for as long as she wants. Okay? Now, the next thing the trust did was set aside money in the trust to pay for maintenance and utilities. Bill, does it also pay for taxes and all of that? Does that come out of there, or how are taxes paid, Bill?
Taxes are paid out of that as well.
Okay. So in other words, it's really to upkeep the house, the expenses of the home while she's living there.
Correct.
And it is a specific amount that will be exhausted by the end of next year. What happens, Dan, if there is no provision to fund that money, or to put more funds in there for the home? Does the trust, because the trust owns the house, I would imagine would still have to do it all anyway, right? I don't know. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, if it's not possible, that is kind of an ambiguity in the trust, and sometimes those can be revealed over time, like this one is. And in that situation, if the parties can come to some sort of agreement, there is a statute that allows you to do that. You could all meet and agree on something, which would be probably the best way to go. It's not always possible, obviously. If it's not possible, then the trustee might want to ask the court for guidance. You apply to the probate court, you petition and say, look, here's the situation. I need guidance on what to do here. That's
Hey, Dan, could you actually meet as a trust? You got the trustee, and you got like 11 beneficiaries, okay? One of them is the trustee. Can they actually vote to evict her?
Since she's a beneficiary, I would be real cautious about doing that as the trustee, because you do have to have her interest in mind too. And usually this private agreement that I just mentioned usually involves all beneficiaries. You can't have part. It's got to be kind of that could be the challenge. You got this many.
Well, she is a beneficiary by living there.
Oh.
She's not a beneficiary that'll split the money, but she is a beneficiary. So you can't just ace her out. But could you agree to ask her to pay rent, or at least the expenses, or not?
If she agrees to that, I mean, she should see the situation and understand, like, hey, if we go to court, the court might say, look, this trust can't do this anymore, and it's done. And then she doesn't have anything, right? So it might be in her interest to participate.
The best thing is communication first, Bill, but Dan McKenzie is available at 833-CO Plans. 833-CO Plans. He is local. That's just a great number to remember. Or coplans.co. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Get your calls in right now, 303-713-TALK. And, of course, you can call 303-MARTINO 24/7.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
So you were assigned to Deputy Doc?
Right. No. Program, no. Yeah, because I didn't realize that didn't have Zoom on it. No big deal. No big deal, because it'll open in the browser.
Okay, what is your name?
She doesn't get that we use the audio. Yeah. But it's a video program.
And you were assigned to Deputy
And I said to
Doc.
I said on you.
What's your phone number?
That if I hurt my hand hitting you, I'm going to be very There is a downside to domestic violence.
And that's 720-459-0129.
It's not going to be as bad as the doc making the dishwasher comment.
I will give it to him right now. Okay?
He said,
Thanks so much.
His
Okay.
dishwasher never broke down. It was, like his ex-wife or something. Very nice. Yeah, so some people on the YouTube got offended about that.
Oh.
Yeah. As they do.
Okay, Shannon, I'm very confused.
Hey,
what
Tom?
do I do?
Yes, sir.
I just have a question.
just
Next,
need
maybe you
to
can answer it.
Put in a Zoom?
Can a husband
You
in
don't
his
know
will
anything.
Well,
leave out his wife as a beneficiary of
Yes.
of anything? Because I assume it's if it's in a house, that it's automatically going
You know
to
what?
the wife.
You know what?
What?
I just got that text. Did you text me that? No, it wasn't
No,
you.
no.
I was going to ask. You know what? I'm going to address that anyway. I just got that as a text.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I assume he can't.
All right. I'm going to show you.
You going to show us the opening ceremony of the Olympics? Aw. You and your blue ball sack?
Well, we've always known the another guy wearing a black
Oh, I saw the blue.
thong who did hang his nuts out.
Oh, I saw the blue guy. I didn't see the black
blue
guy.
guy was covered.
Oh.
Guy with black thong not covered.
I'll have to go see that one out.
Listen, I like stuff.
You're a fan of balls?
I mean, I want everybody happy. Not at my expense, but I want them happy. And so when people are even Ben Albright saying it was a celebration of Dionysus Bacchanal, right? That's what.
Okay.
The guy was being creative. So it's an homage to sodomy and okay, all right. I mean, I want to go. It wasn't the Last Supper. It was. Oh, maybe like the Romans had. They would have these huge buffets and orgies.
Yeah.
Where their policy was first serve, first come. It's kind of the reverse of what we have now.
Yes, it's a little bit backwards.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can do this.
You can do this.
Fucking need him. We're good. Man, this computer sucks, dude.
You shouldn't do something about that computer.
I bet there's a ton of stuff running in the background. I wonder when the last time Liz was really started.
Right, that's what I tried to go to the Windows Legend Intelligence restart, but that took 5 minutes.
That's bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Next time I'm alone in here, which.
That's what I was thinking about tomorrow morning, but I don't know which one it is downstairs, and I hesitate to just start.
Well, maybe not that. Some of these have that C cleaner. And if that can be run, or even disk cleanup, I bet there's gigs of crap in trash and temp files and all of that.
Yeah.
I could even run it in the background right now if you want.
If you get to it. Like I said, just opening up the Windows taskbar took minutes. And I'm not being facetious or exaggerating when I say minutes.
I've been dealing with it for a month.
All right, next time one of us are alone with it, we might give it a go.
You don't want us to be alone with it.
Come on, Eileen.
That's where got kicked me out of the bar.
What?
I was just following along with the lyrics.
Yes. C colon enter.
Then Helen came on, jumped, so I jumped. Helen came on, and well, I got kicked out. You're welcome. Aren't you glad you showed up today?
Yep. I love it.
But yes, create the meeting in Zoom and send that link to both yourself and Ryan. And it should go smoothly after that. What am I doing? Who are we? Where am I? What am I doing? What's my name again?
I think you're going to be okay, Kelly. You're in very good hands. Oh, well, there you go. You're watching. Is that Greco-Roman? What the hell is going on?
Gymnastics?
So not quite as fun to this guy's wrestling, but okay.
I want guys' thighs wrapped around another guy's head.
wife say. He's giving him a 9-9. I thought that was a high score. No, he was the same. 9. That floor exercise shit is crazy.
Well, when you're doing it on a trampoline.
Well, not no. Even just the
Most of this stuff's not on the floor. That's all squishy, bouncy floor. They're not really jumping 8 feet in the air.
well, they're 4 feet, so it's twice the height. Have that kind of screen.
All right, 10 seconds, guys.
And from the loony left right here in Colorado, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it. Join me at 4.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. What's in your problem sack? What do you need solved? What pisses you off? Give us a call, and we'll try to help you. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. I've been asking for trading apps. Boy, I got a lot of suggestions. A lot of suggestions. And really, the ones that keep coming up, something on Robinhood, they have a lot of tools. Now, most of them do not actually select the stocks, but give you suggestions and recommendations. TD Ameritrade, they said, has one. E-Trade, Fidelity. Webull provides free trading with advanced charting tools. See, these are platforms, again, but there is a robo-advisory self-directed trading tool called M1 Finance. Morningstar, while not a trading app, it has extensive research and analysis tools. And then you have TradeStation, which offers a lot of tools. Now, here's the deal, okay? Everyone in the world thinks of the greatest trader in the world. And look, if you just did nothing but bought and hold, you'd probably do pretty good over the long run. It's when you take the risk versus time that really gets into the problem. If you don't have a long time horizon, the shorter your time horizon, then the harder it is. But what I really hate is when people think they have the magic sauce and think this is it, because nothing works all the time. It just doesn't. Even fundamentals don't work all the time because stocks don't always trade on fundamentals. I mean, it truly is a very difficult thing. I mean, it really is. It really, really is. Sometimes you're lucky, by the way, and sometimes you pick some good stuff based on fundamentals. On other times, it's not fundamentals, but it's based on cyclical things like, like the defense stocks, and I don't mean national defense, but stocks that tend to always maintain during a decline in the economy. You have, of course, food and even tobacco and drugs and pharmaceuticals and stuff. They tend to be insulated a bit. And then you have those that step up during recovery, building supplies, things like that. So people try to get ahead of it. They try to look at indicators and invest accordingly. But the real issue is not is not where and how you trade, but who you trust. Because truly, the industry is riddled with people who don't do anything. And they basically just, I don't know if lie is a good word, but the industry takes people's money and they purport to invest it, but they really don't invest your money. They place your money with bigger broker dealers who invest your money, and then they try to take credit for it on the upswing, and on the downswing they say, well, that's the market. And they really don't do much. They're like a middleman there that just collects a fee and then pays part of that fee to somebody up above them to try to do the job for them. Okay, we had a text after we had some estate questions, and the one woman who had a life estate. By the way, a life estate in general normally means you have a life estate to something. Normally it's used when it comes to housing. So this man had a home before he met the woman, married her, probably a second or third wife, but he wanted her to live in the house for the rest of her life, and then after that leave it to let the trust dissolve it. So that's a life estate. It doesn't necessarily have to be called that, but that's basically what it is. Someone wanted to know in this text, can I totally, if it's my money, and clearly my money, can I disinherit a spouse? Can I just leave most of my stuff to someone else? I mean, it's my money. And there was no divorce. So can I just do what I want with my money, the money I had before marriage? Let's say all of the money came before marriage. You marry a second wife, or even your first, whatever. All your money came before you met your wife, let's say. Can you disinherit them? The answer is no. In Colorado, you must leave 5% to them per year of marriage, even if you're separated. So it's 5% per year of marriage to a maximum of 50%. You absolutely must leave to your spouse. The only way to get around that is with a prenup. So to answer that question, you can disinherit with a prenup. Without a prenup, you must leave at least 5%. So what does it mean then if you married and you were with someone for 20 years and divorced? The divorce settlement ends all claims to the estate. Well, if it does, which most of them do. Which means you have no further claim to the estate for a husband or wife because the divorce settlement is supposed to take care of that. But any new spouse after a divorce would then start counting year 1, year 2, etc., etc., and it would be 5% per year in Colorado, up to 50%. So that's the answer to that question. And we always seem to have lingering questions when we have Dan McKenzie on. As far as a trust, can you simply dissolve it and not do what the trust wants? Technically, you can in certain circumstances. For example, if all beneficiaries agree, then you can forego the trust. If all beneficiaries and the trustee agree, they can make a plea to the court to dissolve the trust because none of them is being screwed out of anything. So in that case, you don't have to go by the terms of the trust. And a trust, of course, is something that basically survives death. That's why people have trusts. So if you have a trust that owns things, for example, that trust still owns those things through your death. And then it's up to the trustee to handle the affairs of those items based on the instructions in the trust. And again, that's for the trustee and for the trust. If you're a beneficiary, they can't ace you out of it without your approval. Now, some people do a poor man's trust, and it actually works pretty well. And again, I would do nothing like this without certain input from your attorneys, but I call it a poor man's trust. You can literally own things with an LLC. Now, the LLC can be owned part by you and others, and then the LLC will survive a death, even if you're part of that LLC, and then your share can go to whoever you designate it to, and then they become an owner of the LLC. But the LLC could own property, and that property would still be owned by the LLC to be dealt with like the LLC document instructs. It's a partnership agreement, for lack of a better word, a limited liability company. So a limited liability company can kind of serve as a poor man's trust. and do essentially some of the same things. Now, there are reasons you would want a trust and not an LLC, but again, that's not for me to talk to you about. That's for an attorney like, McKenzie Law, Dan McKenzie, or Keel and Park. We have good people on our referral list that can help you with that. But that's really some of the things you should consider. Now, I want to talk about some stuff here that is really important, okay? And that is, when it comes to credit cards, you will not believe what they're using now to help evaluate customers for renewals and for interest rate changes. I'm going to go over that coming up. They actually look at something you're going to find a little shocking, but it's being done. 303-713-8255. Compass Insurance Group, by the way, will do your insurance comparisons to make sure you're not paying too much and that you're not underinsured or overinsured. 303-996-9000. Plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Think Plumline Services. With quality brands like Carrier and always plumb crazy value. I use Plumline in my home on a mission of excellence with character and ethics. Clear drains, fix leaks, wiring, and quality Carrier systems. Plumline Services. From Castle Rock to Fort Collins. Service at home. Servants at heart. 25 years strong. PlumlineServices.com. Plumline and Carrier. Turn to the experts. You heard me talking about estate planning. Well, Keel & Park, one of those firms we refer people to. And the way Keel & Park practices is quite unique. They will listen to everything you have in your estate. They'll help you go over your estate and come up with a plan, and all of that is complimentary. Then they have flat rate pricing for what you should do. And you can decide to do all of it or some of it. LawKP.com. Keel & Park. 970-818-8198. Call for a free evaluation of your estate, each and every item, and then flat rate pricing. LawKP.com. Zero Res Denver. I love talking about Zero Res like I love talking about purified water, because that's what they use, just purified, softened water, which I call an empty water. That's not, scientifically correct. But what it means is it can carry things away. It's not filled with minerals at hardness already. It's super soft purified. So it carries away pathogens and also allergens. It also can help clean. It's one of the best cleaning agents in nature. ZeroResDenver.com also uses less water because of its cleaning power, and your carpets dry faster and stay clean longer because there's no dirt attracting residue. Zero Res can also take care of tile and grout, any flat surface in your home, upholstery, mattresses, and it's just a super clean. I call it a really clean. They say get Zero Resified. ZeroResDenver.com. $109 for 3 rooms, then $75 off duct cleaning. 303-471-5150. 303-471-5150. Hey, Genesis Total Exteriors, the name says it all. If it's on the outside of your house, they can do it. But here's another secret. They actually do home improvements of all kinds. But it's a company I've known for 25 years. Mark Szymanski is at the head, and he's one source to deal with for all of your storm damage, because they do everything from roofing, soffits, fascia, siding, stucco, windows, doors, decks, and painting. Give them a call if you need storm damage repair or any home improvement. 303-679-8509, 679-8509, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. How much time do I have, bro?
3.
Thank you.
Back in the saddle, and yeah, that's one of the most legendary blues songs ever. Oh, absolutely, absolutely wonderful. Good to be with you here on the program, and good to be with you. Good to be. Is it word we have 440 years? Yes, 12 on here on KOA. everything else is play out. Shorty get luck on the Jimmy singing burger. Rocking and rolling back, lapping up and winding down. Jimmy singing burger in for singing burger. Jimmy singing burger. Jimmy singing.
Good old Jimmy Cinnamon Burger.
We're saying we're at the end of hit. Yeah. Good job, Tom. Thank you. Guitar at our repertoire or something.
GOPs, also going to talk
Now pushing off the.
Bum, 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 bum.
What the hell is it?
We're going to bring in some unusual meat.
We and may God bless America.
Computer's on its last legs, too. Pretty bad.
10 seconds here, guys.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you have a problem, call us no matter how early you are in the stages. You can also text me, and I've gotten a few texts here, and you can text my private Google number or this station number. First of all, the iHeart number that people text, and you put my name in the subject line, it'll get to me, or somewhere in the text. It's 57739, short code 57739. My Google number is 747-999-5280.
Hey, Tom, can I give a shout out?
Go ahead, sir.
I went to this Italian restaurant. It reminded me because of Cucina over here, but the name of it is Calori, just plain Calori, and it's on Yale and Broadway. The food was fantastic, reasonably priced, good service, and I'm so glad I found it. Now, if I want a good Italian meal.
Very good, very good. There are quite a few really good Italian restaurants, man. That's a very popular food. I think Italian and Mexican are right up there in the two most popular restaurants in the Denver metro area. Okay, so I want to talk about credit cards. So, credit cards now, credit card companies, and I say now, it's been a few years, but they're really starting to use spending habits based on what you charge to alter your rate. So sometimes you get an increase in rate or an increase in credit. Sometimes, very rarely, you'd get a decrease in credit line. And you sometimes can get a decrease, though, in your rate or transfer balances or whatever. Part of the risk algorithm, the risk factor, and it's not just so much risk, but in some cases, how do I put this? It's a way to social engineer. That's the only way I can say it. So they look at purchasers and what they're buying. For example, you may be a higher risk client for no other reason than what you buy or what you pay for. And I'll go over those specifics, but I'll give you an example. Let's say you buy things that are politically incorrect, or you buy things that are considered risky behavior. What would that be? A lot of sex toys. I'm not kidding you. They don't tell you this. They just have an algorithm that scores you based on what you buy. They have even gone so far as people who buy motorcycle parts and black T-shirts and motorcycle gear to consider them a higher risk because of maybe a risky hobby. Or people who do exotic sports. They also look at things that could spell bad behavior, things you might buy. I don't know if they mean whips and chains, but basically they have various algorithms they will never tell you, but credit insiders are saying that they will look at what you are buying and the amount you are buying in order to rate you. How about supplements or maybe crazy health things? Your credit card not only shows what you paid, but what you're purchasing. So no, that's another way that they can spy on you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. Now, they're even selling data. Now, they can't sell what you bought exactly, but they can score you and share what they believe from their algorithm you present as a risk to other companies. There are people who are even saying that car insurance companies are buying some of this data to see what you purchase, to see what kind of a person you are. I don't know how far they go, folks. I don't know. This insider said they go farther than you might think. So what if you buy a lot of political stuff for one party or another? Does that matter? It's amazing what technology has done to our world. So if you really want to be invisible, you're going to have to start doing cash, and you're going to have to start doing a lot of things. There are actually companies now, oddly enough, they're online, telling you how to erase yourself from technology. Do you think that might be a popular thing? Learning how to erase yourself? Think about this. If you have a kid, you can teach them from an early age how to erase themselves if they never start. Would that be cool or would that be harmful, do you think? Let's go to Chris, Pamela. Pamela, you have a question on moving companies. Go ahead, Pam. What's happening?
Yes. I live in Windsor Gardens here in Denver.
Yes.
And I'm going to be moving from one building to the next. It's literally next door. And I looked on your referral list, and I didn't see any moving companies, and I just kind of wanted to know, some do's and don'ts.
Well, okay. Well, first of all, get a real moving company. First of all, get a real moving company. But we do have moving on our referral list.
Nope, we do not.
What?
Nope, we do not.
What happened, Mark?
Well, I don't want to get into it now, but we just don't have one. But I do like Johnson Storage and Moving for sure.
They've been around
the
for
other
so
great one, Mark, is Move Masters. We have used them so many times, and friends and family. They are
Doc likes them a lot.
absolutely the best.
Okay, we can give you personal experience then. That's good. You know, Mark, is it safe to say for everyone listening, except for Johnson, I swear to God, they've been around 125 years, but is it safe to say that we can't depend on movers to stay the way they are? I mean, would that be a good statement or not?
That would be okay.
Or is it some that just decided not to be on the referral list anymore? I mean, really, what do you think?
No, it was promise after promise,
Okay.
and they definitely wanted to be on the referral list, but it gets to a point where it's 6 months down the road, I've had it.
Okay. So people, if we have problems, Mark really looks into these problems. Okay, just let me tell you that. And we don't take it lightly. So I guess there's a reason right now we don't have them. But what's the name of that one, Doc?
Move Masters.
And then Johnson, you'll never go wrong with Johnson. Never. Now, they've been on my referral list. They were on my referral list for years. And truly, I don't even know why they're not on anymore. I mean, frankly, they probably don't need it. I mean, without sounding crazy, I mean, that's probably it. They've just been around for so long.
Will they do a small job like that, Tom?
Yes, they will. Yeah. And there used to be a family, the Grable family. Now, they sold out, but God, was that a good company, too. They were on the referral list years ago. And anyway, I don't want to get too specific on ones that used to be on there, because there are some that used to be on there that we will not recommend. But Pamela, here's the most important thing: a guaranteed not to exceed contract. Did you hear me?
Okay.
That's all. That's all you need. Guaranteed not to exceed, and not an estimate, but a contract.
Okay.
And It's the best way to do it. And then if you buy insurance, you buy insurance directly and verify you have it. 303-713-8255. Chris, you have a question on closing an IRA. Go ahead, Chris. What's going on?
Hey, Tom.
Hi.
I'm 72 years old, and I have a traditional IRA that only has $28,000 in it, but I need the money.
Okay.
So I can't for the life of me figure out how much tax is going to be taken out, if any, or how to do this.
Okay, hold on. Who do you have it with right now?
T. Rowe Price.
Okay, and is it earning money where you don't want to cash, or do you want to cash it all out?
I want to cash it all out. In 20 years, I've made $18,000.
Yeah, that's terrible. Okay, so listen.
Yeah.
So with tax deferral, that's really terrible. But then on the other hand, you're not going to have a lot of tax to pay. Oh, wait. No, this is an IRA, so you're going to have to pay on everything, because now what you will do is just pay on how much you take out. It's going to be that simple, and it's going to be based on ordinary income. Unfortunately, it's not capital gains. But you have to be in a low class right now as far as income. What is your income?
I only have Social Security, $2,300 a month. I'm trying to live on.
Okay,
with a mortgage.
Okay, but you're going to pay. You know you're going to pay about 20%. Well, here's what you do. It's very easy. Just withdraw it, close it. No matter what, you're going to pay the tax on it. You'll get a 1099, and then you'll pay tax accordingly when you fill it out. Or do you need to know how much of it you can spend? Some of them will only send you a certain amount and withhold tax anyway. But are you...
I'm suspecting that they're going to ask me if I want to withhold tax at the get-go.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Hold on. I want to get someone on for you. Hey, Kachina, let's try to get Eric on from Atlas CPA, or we'll get Mallory, one of our accountants, on to give her some general guidelines. You hang on, and we'll do that for you, Chris, all right?
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, hang on. 303-713-8255. Keith has an issue with a neighbor, and we're going to get to you. And also Frank wants to talk about eye doctors. Now, that's easy for me, because there aren't that many around that I would recommend. ProBid Energy for your solar needs. ProBidEnergy.com, including commercial systems with grants or residential. ProBidEnergy.com.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
iHeartRadio Olympics Update.
The U.S. women's basketball team begins its quest for an 8th straight Olympic gold medal today when they take on Japan. Team USA Swimming can add to their medal haul today after Tori Husk won the women's 100-meter butterfly on Sunday.
I missed the podium by 100th of a second last time, and that was really crushing, but I think that it made me better.
American Gretchen Walsh finished second to Husk to take home the silver.
For NBC's live coverage from Paris, search Olympics on the free iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
An incident on the south end of town. Bellevue Avenue eastbound is closed between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive due to an ongoing gas leak. XL Energy has the road closed. If you're hoping to detour, you can take the right turn lane onto Prince Street, which will eventually get you past Santa Fe and back to Bellevue. Down on the south end of town, Parker Road southbound, we're looking at ongoing road construction with stop-and-go traffic between E470 and East Lincoln, about a 5-minute delay there. No complaints I-25 north and southbound through town. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We've got a hot week ahead of us, folks. Mostly sunny skies this afternoon with a high of 97, overnight low of 63. The current temperature in Denver is 92 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
K&H Home Solutions, the oldest home improvement company in all of Colorado, has the best window made right here in Colorado. What a winning combination. Alpine Windows, by the way, a fiberglass insulated frame and an IGU, an insulated glass unit that's damn near like a wall. You're going to love these windows for their beauty, efficiency, lack of maintenance. You don't need any maintenance on these windows. They hold their color, and you have a great company to put them in, K&H Home Solutions. khwindows.com, 303-421-7100. O'Brien Legal Services, our real estate attorney. He was on the show giving us advice. He can give you advice too. olslaw.com. That's olslaw.com. You need O'Brien to get you straight when it comes to real estate, to go over documents before closing, whatever it is. Don't be silly and forego legal advice. 720-370-7388. Okay. I got the tax question. I can't believe it.
Mandy, not Mandy. Good cow. There's the right page. Yeah, Olympic report right there in the middle. Hi. They've been doing that every hour? What happened to 11:30? And the second one. It's only gonna be a 12. That's a 1. Yeah, so that's strange. So it must just be the noon.
Wow. Just dominant.
Ten seconds, guys.
Thanks.
At Dunright Home Improvements, drhi.com.
Denver's talk station. Online at khout.com.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So this question is really one of math, but I have Eric Reinemer on from Atlas CPAs, atlasfirms.com, Atlas CPAs and Financial Advisors, for a reason, to talk about the payment. Chris is 72, and I believe you said you have 72 grand in an IRA, and you want to cash it out. Your other income basically amounts to $2,300 a month. which is roughly $27,600 a year. And the way I understand it, mathematically speaking, Eric, 85% of that is taxable, and along with her, to make a long story short, along with her $72,000 IRA, she'll have income that year of approximately 95 grand. And going by the tax brackets, her tax might be, math speaking only, 16,300. And that's what I'm seeing here. So that would give you a net of about 55,700. But having said all of that, Eric, and correct me if I'm wrong on that really quick math, but having said all of that, when does she pay that?
That would get paid when she files 2024 tax return come April.
So if she draws it out now, then she has to pay that tax before April 15th.
That's right, and also it might be wise to consider if it could somehow be drawn out, not all at once, but like push something into January 24 just to avoid higher brackets.
So in other words, she can choose to cash half of it now and half of it later.
Or over 5 years, it's really a cash flow consideration on how big the need is, but why bundle a bunch of taxable income into 1 year if you've got lower other income? I would spread it out as much as you can.
Chris, what about that? What do you need the money for?
House repairs and stuff. It's $28,000. I'm 72 years old. It's $28,000. It's just been sitting out there forever, not doing anything.
Oh, I'm sorry.
For me.
It's not 72,000.
Correct.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
And the only income I have is my Social Security.
Okay, I'm sorry. I wanna redo that math, but okay. I don't know why. I guess I got the 72 mixed up because how old you are. So okay, so here's the bottom line. It's still the same. I mean, not the same. You're going to pay way less in taxes, but you're still going to pay taxes. So you're going to have a total income of about 50 grand or so. You're going to pay about 6,600 in taxes, basically. So, take 28 grand, you're going to have a 21,000 or something like that. Is that going to be enough?
I don't understand the why pay now and then pay the next year.
What he meant was this. Yeah. You're in a bracket. Go ahead, Eric, explain it.
Yeah, so Chris, this income, it just gets added to your other Social Security income, and you don't have to pay ultimately until you file your tax return in March or April. That's when you pay the taxes when you file your 24 tax return.
Right.
You could, but also I'm just saying, Chris, if you could somehow not need all of it right now, you'd pay less tax if you could divide it up and maybe do half now and half in January to push it out, to not be pushing extra income into a higher bracket.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because you're so close to the end of the year. If you take 14 grand now and 14 grand in next year, your total tax may be less than the 6,600.
I could do that. Yeah.
And the other thing is, Chris, that if you have that little other income as Social Security, you probably do you file a single, just yourself tax return? Yes. So the first 13,000 or so of your income is tax free anyway. So you might even owe less taxes because your first 13,000 is only it's tax free, and you at that level of income you might not even pay 85% on Social Security because the is up over 25-30. You might only pay 50%. It's a sliding scale thing.
You're right.
Okay.
So you know what? If you spread it over, he's right. That 85% of tax on a Social Security is only if you go over a certain threshold. Otherwise, you don't pay that 85. You don't count 85%.
I have taxes taken out of my Social Security every month.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about. Okay, I understand what you're saying, but it's still figured into your total tax, is what we're saying.
Right. Okay.
But however, I believe I believe that you would be better off doing it over 2 years. What they're saying is it's not that much more, but they're saying your tax each year would be about, you're going to look at a total savings of about $600 from what I'm seeing here. I did some really quick math. Again, you might want to do the number.
I do 14 now, and the other 14 sometime next year.
Well, you do it. You can do it right after the first, and you effectively have your 28 grand, and then before the 15th, you pay your one bill, right? Of 3,000 something, and then before April 15th of the following year, you pay the other $3,000. So you're basically going to save about $400 to $500 doing it over 2 years.
I'll take it.
All right. So thank you, Eric Reinemer, and Eric is with Atlas CPAs and Financial Advisors, 303-799-9111. Let's talk to Frank about his. He needs an eye doctor or an ear doctor. I'm sorry, an ear doctor. What's going on? And is it an ear doctor, or are you talking about hearing aids, an audiologist, Frank?
No, I need an ear doctor. My ears are ringing, and it's driving me nuts.
Okay. How long have they been ringing, Frank?
That's a great question.
No, seriously, how long have you been suffering from it?
I would say my ears have been ringing about a week.
Oh!
I have a big problem is I cannot sleep.
Wait a minute, it just suddenly came on?
Yes.
Did anything else happen during that week at all? Any noises or any infections, any sinuses, anything you can think of?
Tom, I'm the most healthy 94-year-old person.
Oh, my God in heaven. You're the healthiest 94-year-old. You're giving me inspiration. But let me ask you this. So you basically woke up with it or went? Just tell me how it came on.
Well, the thing is that you go to sleep at the whatever time and you wake up at whatever time.
Right.
And suddenly I realized, hey, I am not sleeping all damn night. So it's been going on for a week where I have not slept. Well, last night, for example, I did not sleep all night. The ringing in my ears will not.
But what came
go
first,
away.
the not sleeping or the ringing?
The ringing.
Okay, because it's called tinnitus, right?
Yeah, I've heard the word tinnitus. I don't know quite how to say it.
And really, okay. The sudden onset could be anything. I mean, it could be high blood pressure. It could be a buildup of ear wax or anything. So you're right. What you need is what's called an ENT.
Yes, whatever that is. EMT?
ENT, ear, nose, and throat. Doc, where does he find a good... are you on any particular plan?
Well, I have Medicare, of course.
But are you on? But do you go to any particular primary care?
I don't even know what that means. I'm so damn healthy that I see very little doctors.
Okay, so you don't have.
I die.
All right. Okay, I can tell you that you just need to look up. I mean, I've used an ENT that I love. I don't even know if he's still practicing, but here's the point, is that you need to find that's what you need. And if you had a primary care, they would recommend one to you immediately. Okay? So that's what I'm getting at. So you can't think of, like the last time you went, you're supposed to designate a primary care physician for your plan. Do you have one?
Take a break, buddy.
Don't know what that means, Tom.
Okay, hold on. We'll get your recommendation. Just hang on. We got more coming right up.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is
I got a
sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
A closure on the south end of town, Bellevue Avenue eastbound. XL Energy crews working on a gas leak between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive. All lanes blocked through that little stretch there. Detours in place. You can take right onto Prince Street which will get you back to Bellevue past Santa Fe. Otherwise, a pretty quiet drive throughout the Denver Metro. I-25 north and southbound, we've been seeing highway speeds all day. Back to the south end of town, roadwork on Parker Road southbound has stop-and-go traffic between E470 and East Lincoln Avenue. Fox 31, pinpoint weather, mostly sunny skies. It's a high of 97 today and a hot week ahead of us. The current temperature in Denver is 93. With your impact traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 6:30.
Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Free second opinions right now. If you're told you need a new AC, check it out first. Maybe a new furnace, check it out first. A sewer line replacement, check it out first with Fix It 24/7. A company I've known for years, the owner and people I've known for even more years. FixMyHome.com. Free second opinions. 720-526-3939. Get a second opinion no matter what. You can always go back to the first company. FixMyHome.com. Now, let's talk about a company that does QC, quiet, cool, whole house fans. People, I can't say enough about it, but I will tell you this. Honest to God, it's one of the best purchases I ever made. It has more than paid for itself with the savings I get in utilities for lack of air conditioning or less air conditioning. It destratifies the air in your house. It makes the hot and cold mix together, and it expels the super hot out the top. Listen, you don't even have to understand the science. Just know it evens out temperatures. Your air conditioner works less. And then in the mornings and evenings, before your house could cool off on its own, you do it with this in just a few minutes and don't even have to run the air. You need to find out more. QCcolorado.com, a company that I can highly recommend from personal experience, and you will love it. It just takes a few hours like an hour or two to put it in, and then you have a lifetime of savings. That's 303-800-3419, 303-800-3419. American Restoration. The name says it all. It's a restoration company. But this is an area of service that there are so many ripoffs. Please, when you have a fire or a flood, a broken pipe, smoke damage, or asbestos or black mold or any of these substances, call the experts. Don't let your insurance pick the company. They only pay once, and then you're stuck with the mess if you don't get someone good. So I recommend American Restoration 24/7. That's amrest247.com, 8337-AM-REST. That's AM-REST. 8337-AM-REST. The CPA certifications, knowledge, insurance, and know-how to deal with toxic substances in your home and put it back together the right way. 8337-AM-REST. God, I'm so tired of these assholes not having their numbers listed. God damn it, how stupid can you be? Oh, man. The internet is so outdated. I swear to God it is. It's so outdated. Gosh, dang you.
Same.
Hi. So I'm scheduling a Zoom meeting for the first time, and I don't know how to do it.
10 seconds here, guys.
Radio aiming to cut through the clutter and wash out the white noise of the mainstream media. The only missing ingredient is you. Join me each day of the work week starting at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hey, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, hey, Frank, listen, man. All I can give you is someone I dealt with when I first had the onset of tinnitus, okay? Mine came from an infection. I was never able to get fully rid of the tinnitus. I've treated it successfully, and you can get a lot of help, okay? But I started with an ENT. Now, I can't tell you these people are even, the doctor I dealt with or anything is still there, but it's a great clinic. It's called Colorado ENT Specialists, okay? Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
The number
Yes, sir, I'm here.
the number's 303-750-8600. Start there.
All right. 756-80.
No, 750-8600. Kelly, can you make sure he gets that 750-8600? We have more coming right up.
Hey, babe, are you there? Okay. So what do I do? Yeah, it says schedule meeting. So I did topic. I did today. I did the time. Do I just hit save? The only thing I don't understand is it gives option like video, and it says host and participant, which are already off. All I need is audio.
Yeah, but you can't do it. It's just, you just don't turn on your video. It's normal. If you're using Zoom, it's gonna come with video. Like that's just what it is.
All right, hang on 1 second for me, babe. Hang on 1 second. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. How can I help you? Okay, what was the phone number that you were looking for? Okay, hang on for me. Okay, all right, babe. So do I just hit save and then it automatically emails people?
Yes, it should. I would put obviously, you can add yourself or you can add an extra one there.
Oh, they're giving me a passcode.
Yeah, that's all. All of that goes into the email invite or into the thing.
Okay, so it should come to my email. Or did I fuck it up? I definitely think I screwed it up. Nope, I did. I'm not getting any sort of email. Well, crap.
Hold on.
All right, hang on. Hey, Tom? Okay, Frank, did he say the name of the audiologist?
Kelly?
No, that's okay. All right, hang on for me. So Tom gave the name of an audiologist. You know who he is?
Yeah, he doesn't need an audiologist. He needs a doctor.
Okay. All right, babe, I'll call you back.
Here you go.
Perfect. Got it. All right, so the phone number is 303-750.
Good, sir.
8. Okay. No problem. You get yourself a pen, and I will help you. Okay. So it is 303-750. 8600. Joan, apologies, but go ahead and start there.
All right.
Thank you.
Morons.
Take care. Okay, bye.
I was just going to see if you wanted me to talk.
Dan? You want Dan's number?
No,
Everybody's a moron.
The guy who, but you just gave him the numbers, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's good.
All right.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. 303-713-TALK is our number, 713-8255. Brought to you by One Clear Choice Garage Doors, the best garage door company I know of for years and years and years. 24/7 service for emergencies. If you can't get your door closed at night, you need to secure your house, you can call them. They can also help you with normal adjustments and power and openers and new doors, panels, any part of a door. One Clear Choice Doors.com, and all of their prices are on their website, oneclearchoicedoors.com. So what's on your mind today? How can we help you? That's what we're asking. Hello, YouTube morons and Facebook flunkies. Welcome to the show. We love solving problems. We love making your life a little easier. Have you heard about the Supreme Court, by the way? The proposed changes for the Supreme Court. Would love to know what you think of that. This is not a commentary on Biden, but there is a lot of frustration in general, and I was wondering, and usually that happens if they don't decide the way you like, it's a bad court. If they decide the way you like, it's a good court. But Biden has pledged to really change the Supreme Court with legislation. I don't know actually the power they have to do that, but I thought that was set by the Constitution. However, he wants to set term limits for justices, a binding code of conduct, and then, of course, he wants to amend that presidential immunity. He believes presidential immunity while acting as president should not be a strict immunity because, you know, presidents could be crooked, hint, hint, and therefore they shouldn't be immune from their official acts. Again, they didn't really define official acts, but Biden has said before, and Harris has said, that they fear Trump will assassinate his enemies. And I've actually had emails from morons, YouTubers, not YouTube morons. From people who told me, Tom, when you say that it's ridiculous, these claims that democracy will be done away with and that Trump will become a dictator, it is not ridiculous. And it actually will happen. So just to let you know, there are people who truly believe that you need to take away this presidential immunity because Trump will become a dictator and assassinate his opposition. But I want to know, and I really mean, as far as the Supreme Court, forget about Trump and all that. Let's talk about this. Do you believe there should be term limits on the Supreme Court? Seriously, that's a good question, isn't it? Keith, what is your issue with your neighbor? Hello, Keith. What's going on?
Hey, Tom.
What's happening?
So I have a neighbor who's kind of, I would say threatening, but giving me a hard time about the condition of my lawn and a tree that I have in the backyard.
God. Okay. How is this affecting them?
Well, so the tree is basically, it's very large. It's growing over, it's kind of overhangs their property, and they're complaining about, they have to spend all this money to get their gutters cleaned out every year, and then it supposedly caused...
what else are they complaining about? The tree and what else?
And then just the condition of the lawn.
Okay, so anyway, how are they complaining? To the HOA or to who?
There's no HOA. They just said, hey, you're not taking care of your lawn, and you got to take care of this tree.
And how do they complain? Is it in person or how?
In person.
Okay. Are they mean? Are they friends? What are they?
It's not a adversarial relationship, but once he basically threatened to take legal action, I said, well, do your worst. There's nothing you can do. You can't force me to clean up my lawn. Or can he? That's my question.
No, they can't. Of course not, unless you're breaking a law. If you're breaking a covenant and the HOA, you agree to the covenants when you bought, then the HOA could enforce those covenants. If you're violating some kind of ordinance, then they can go to the municipality, but this person cannot do anything. Now, they could, in an extreme situation, they could sue you for damages if they believe you are damaging. However, a tree overhanging a fence, you're not in control of that tree. As long as that tree is in normal maintenance and normal, care, and you're not letting it rot over the fence, They can cut it back, by the way. They would be allowed to cut it back. Are you opposed to them cutting it back, or have you said to them, you better not touch it?
No, I said, whatever's on your property, you're welcome to do with what you want.
Okay, then you may tell them, look, you're in perfect harmony with me. If you want to cut back that tree to our fence line, you're under an obligation to do it with care and not to kill the tree. I would put that in writing, let them know. But
No,
there's
I
nothing,
would
there's really
agree.
nothing they can do. I mean, nothing. I mean, everyone can sue everyone. It gets ridiculous, but, everyone could
I
sue.
would
Go ahead.
agree. I would agree with my neighbor that, yes, my lawn's a little overgrown and the tree's a little overgrown. It needs to be trimmed, but I don't have the money to trim it right now. So,
Well, when you say it needs to be trimmed, you're not obligated to trim it on their side of the fence. Do you understand that?
I did not know that. Okay.
No, you're not. Unless it's really weird. If it's in disrepair and it's like dangerous, you kind of do have an obligation. I don't really know the condition. Is it dangerous? Is it rotting?
No, it's not rotting. It's just it's got a lot of sucker, shoots growing up near the fence line, and it's just it does need to be trimmed. It's been the tree's about 70 years old.
Okay, how much will it cost to trim? Do you know?
Oh, I would say a minimum 2,000.
What?
Or 2,000 plus. Oh yeah, to trim it. Yeah, there's a lot of dead wood in it.
Well, you may have some responsibility, but then again, you don't have all the responsibility. Have you asked them to chip in, or do you have no money whatsoever?
I just don't have enough to take care of that right now. And in a number, I've got another bid on a different property. It's I can't say that it's not my property, but somebody just told me they got a bid for $2,000 just for taking out some bushes. So I'm like, I know it's going to be at least $2,000.
Wow. Well, listen, the short answer is they can't make you do it. The long answer is if it does damage, and they say you knew it was in disrepair, you knew it was rotting, or you knew it could do damage, but the normal cleaning they can't do anything about. So really,
And then how do I determine if somebody would come by, like the code enforcement, or would they say, hey?
What you would do to really protect yourself from civil litigation is to get someone and probably pay them, an arborist, for an opinion on whether it is dangerous, not if it is dirty or sheds, but is it danger? Is it dangerous of falling or hurting someone or a property? Then if you get a professional opinion in writing, then you can use that.
What about the codes for, cutting the grass and...
Okay, for code enforcement, you could call code enforcement and you could say, sometimes it's covered by the building department, and if you call there, they'll get you to the right department and say, look, I'm just curious if my tree is out of code, and if I need to do something, am I required to trim it, and at what point am I required to trim it? For example, if it's in an easement for power lines, does it go across any power lines?
No, but they have a power that comes in from the alleyway that comes across and is under a couple of the large
and has
branches,
it okay.
But
So it's really a big unknown. That's what it is right now. So you have to call code enforcement, or you need to call the utility if you're looking for, you're really looking for trouble, basically. But how often do they warn you about this tree?
Well, he just said something about it, and he gave me an ultimatum of 1 month, and I said.
And what did he say? If you don't do it in a month, what will he do?
He said, if you don't do it, I'm gonna go through a legal route.
Well, okay. Listen. Again, they can't make you do anything. Even a legal route, if they literally file a lawsuit, then you're going to have to defend yourself. But I can't see on what grounds, unless you're negligent. That means the trunk and the stuff on your side is dangerous. You do not. Now, if the branch on their side is dangerous, that's different than nuisance. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. So you're going to have to get a professional opinion. And no matter how much we discuss it, it won't change. You're going to have to get, because I don't know enough, you don't know enough, but get a professional opinion. Certainly you can afford someone to at least give you an opinion on the tree, right?
Sure, yeah.
And that would be the way to go to protect yourself. Listen, this arborist says it's not dangerous. It's a healthy tree, and it needs to be trimmed a little. I don't have the money to trim it right now. You can trim it back on your side all you want. Just put it down, get it in, and then what do? They go to an attorney and say, I want him to trim our side of the tree. They're not going to, listen, people can say they're taking a legal route, but there's nothing you can do about it. Look, in a perfect world, it would be nice if you could trim your side. Bill's got a comment on this. Go ahead, Bill. What do you think?
Well, you got me there?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Well, I'll tell you, we had the same problem. If you remember, I called you on it too. And of course, my neighbor's tree fell into my yard.
Okay.
And the way that rule reads,
okay,
unless it's neglected.
Right.
Anyway,
that's a good point. And that's what I was saying, Bill. You're right.
Anyway, but anyway, so the people across the street was getting their trees trimmed, so I called the guy up, and he came over, and he did mine that day, and it cost me $600. And what the tree guy told me, the tree trimmer, he told me to call forestry in the city, because I'm in Lakewood, to call forestry, and forestry came out and condemned the tree, and they had to cut it down.
Oh,
And if you want a number, if I could find the guy's card, he's pretty reasonable if that person's listening.
Now, wait, they cut the tree down, but it was your neighbor's tree, right?
Yes,
and
but it broke and fell into my yard.
And how did the neighbor feel about you reporting it?
We're not talking.
And did the neighbor hire this guy to take the tree down?
After I had the
no,
section
I
cut
get
out
it.
of
I
mine.
get it. But did he hire the guy you're recommending?
What's that?
Did your neighbor hire the guy you're recommending?
Yes, she did, as a matter of fact.
And how do you know it was reasonable?
Well, it cost me $600 for the section that fell in my yard.
That's a lot of money.
It is, and I live in a heavily treed area, and I know the prices, kind of.
Well, what's the name of the company?
Okay, here, I got it right here. I'll give you the number. It's 720-519-7791, and it's called We Do Concrete, Woods, Fence.
How long ago did you deal with this company?
A couple of months ago.
Okay.
When we got that heavy wind.
Did you get that number, Keith?
I might have told you the wrong number.
Well, do it again.
Well, hold on, let me look.
So, Keith, are you listening?
Yeah, it is this guy. The number I gave you is right. Okay.
720-519-7791?
Correct.
Thank you.
And Eddie was fairly reasonable, quick. He had a bunch of people. They swarmed all over the yard. And
Keith, I'm not suggesting you call them because you don't necessarily have the money to trim, but you can get an estimate. At least get an estimate before you jump to conclusions. And then I would also get an arborist. The estimate shouldn't cost you anything. And then the arborist might charge to give you an evaluation of a tree. But that's all you can do at this point. 303 713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now listen, for the guy that texted, I better take this break, then we'll come back and talk about that. Somebody texted me about hair restoration. We'll talk about that and more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
Regen Revolution has helped me so much in terms of getting mobile and active again, and now they'll be helping me and you at their new location near Old Town in Arvada. It's an expanded facility, so an even better version of the great care you've come to know from Regen Revolution. The combination of regenerative medicine and more traditional treatment modalities have gotten me back to being able to play sports and exercise in ways I thought I might never do again. Learn more at regenrev.com. That's REGENREV.com.
O'Brien Legal Services, you heard him on the show earlier, olslaw.com. He's our real estate expert. We called him about evictions, asking about that, but you can ask about anything. He can go over closing docs or basically answer your concerns you might have about a border dispute or an easement or eminent domain. Whatever it is real estate related, he can do. 720-370-7388. 720-370-7388. Okay. Made in the Shade is your window covering connection. We love these people. They do it all, from the measuring with a design consultant to help you pick the right stuff for the right place. And then the measuring is accurate. They guarantee it. If you decide to go with them and they try to hit a budget for you, whether you want high tech, low tech, maybe solar operated or solar powered, I should say, battery powered, whatever it is, they have it, and you can order it through them. They will then install it with the best installers in the business. It's a one-stop shop, Made in the Shade. That's denvershades.co. denvershades.co. 720-458-6566. Sheridan Auto Tech, your expert in the auto repair and maintenance division, especially electrical work too. And they can even keep your car under regular service during its warranty life and keep records for you to keep that warranty alive. And they do pre-buy inspections on used cars as well. I know Uncle Kevin and his team, you will love them. They are quality. SheridanAutotech.com. 303-455-7242. Hey, Mark, is he there?
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to Liz about RKC?
No, I don't talk to Liz. I'll tell you what Jess told me about him, though.
What?
They just weren't.
Yeah. Paying?
No, I think they were paying. They just weren't seeing many results.
Oh.
But once again, we're talking about a company that has no website, no Facebook. Nothing. We tried to get him into studio probably 10 times. Oh, wait. Who are you talking about?
RKC.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Hey, Mark.
Yes.
In late September, are you doing anything? Are you going out of town?
We do have. I just got to ask Suzanne, man. I just simply don't keep track of that shit.
All right.
I think it's early September. What are you thinking?
I wanted to go to Japan. Got some friends over there.
That'll be fun.
I'll check with the exact dates and let you know.
Yeah.
It would be 2 weeks.
Just ask
It would
Susan.
be
Or look on. I mean, she's really good at putting shit on her calendar, man.
Yeah, and we're talking about a good 2 weeks here.
That'll be fun. What's the time difference over there? Is it
15, I
opposite?
think. I think 15, is it? Possibly 15 ahead? 15 hours. I don't know why 15. That's weird. It's usually 12.
You're flying into the future. Tell me what the lottery numbers are. Let me see what I see on our calendar.
Ten seconds, guys.
Your trusted local fiduciary advisors, TrajanWealth.com. Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. First time today, open lines, or actually second time. But if you need help, give us a call, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, so I got one on hair restoration. A text, that is. I want to explain this about hair restoration. First and foremost, there are a number of things people call hair restoration, okay? But hair restoration comes in a few different sizes. The one that most people know is the transplants. So they take your hair follicles that are healthy and they extract some hair follicles. They can either do it randomly or with a strip. The old-fashioned was a strip across the back that grows over, they hope. But then there's this other system that takes out follicles randomly from around your head and then replants them in areas you need them. And those are basically hair transplants. And you know, I think Michael Brown and let's see, who else advertised? Ross Kaminsky. Who do they advertise for? Do you recall who they call? Because they say they love that person. Is Dr. Tanya Paul one that, is that Brownies? Do you know, guys? Mark?
Yeah,
that's who we saw. Dr.
Oh, yeah,
Tanya,
Dragon.
Tanya
Is that
Pauls.
what Brownie is talking about, Dr.
Yes.
Tanya Paul's?
Yes.
Okay. And then there's another kind of hair restoration, which is stem cell therapy. And stem cell therapy are injections into the scalp of stem cells and some do combinations of that. And before stem cells, they were doing PRP, platelet-rich plasma. And Dragon, I don't know if Brownie had both the transplants and the stem cells with it, or did he have just the
Just the transplant ones, not the stem cells.
And he
to
loves
the
it,
best of my
right?
knowledge.
He loved the results, right?
Absolutely does.
And you notice a difference, right?
Very much so.
Did he actually have a bald spot?
It was thinning for him, not really bald spots.
Yeah.
Same with Ross. His was thinning pretty much. So then the transplants came around, and both of them looked tremendously better.
Yeah, because mine really is thinning too. So I tried. Well, I shouldn't have told you right now because I'm waiting on the results. But I guess it's too late now, isn't it? So I went to Denver Regen, and that was a few weeks ago for the stem cell therapy, just to see if it would thicken it up a bit. And what I've noticed now is it's been about 2 or 3 weeks. I've noticed some itching. I don't know. I know this sounds crazy. It could be the sign of new growth. Who knows? We'll see. And then that comes with a redo, not a redo, but like a booster, they call it, that in August I'll have that done. But there was no surgical procedure whatsoever. It was just a bunch of pricks. If you're just tuning in, I'm not talking about bad people. I'm just talking about a bunch of pricks on my head. And it's for restoration, hair restoration with stem cells. Hey, Mike, what is your question? Go ahead, Mike. Welcome. 303-713-8255. By the way, if somebody wants to know if my text line's still working, yes, I didn't get a text from you, though. 747-999-5280. You're texting on the other one I did get from you, 57739. That's the one iHeart has. But then we have our own Google Voice number, which is 747-999-5280. Okay, by the way, what do you need to know, Mike?
I know you've covered this before, but I can't remember the rules.
Yeah.
If you or people break a lease with an apartment building, let's say it was a year lease and you stayed for 6 months.
Yeah.
And you leave. Do you owe the whole 6 months? I thought you said at one point that if they just turned right around and rented the apartment, then they have no loss. So you will lose your damage in maybe a month.
Right. There's something called substance over form, and really, it depends. Technically, you're on the hook for the lease, okay? But if you can prove that the breach came with limited losses, you only have to pay the limited losses.
That's so hard to do, though, especially if it's a big complex that has multiple open units.
Right.
You could almost never do it.
That's right, because what they're going to say is that they still have one less renter or one more apartment to fill. However, it's not impossible, Mark. Some have, fourplex, duplex. Some have just one apartment open.
Oh, agreed. If you were renting your house and someone broke the lease and you re-rented it the next day, you have no loss.
Well, you could have some, like the cleaning, different ones. I mean, you'd have minor.
Fair enough, but
they're not going to get 8 months out of you or 6 months out of you. Now, you could try in an apartment, a house, if let's just say there aren't many left, and they have that particular one, which was a 2-bedroom, the other one was a 1-bedroom. You could definitely say, wait a minute, you rented mine out, there was a desire and a need, and you rented it out. But they would have probably some damages. But it's up to you to pursue. They're not going to voluntarily send you a check.
Okay, so that is basically what happened. Somebody moved out, he could not afford the 2-bedroom and asked, hey, I'll sign the lease on, just transfer me over to a one bedroom, and they wouldn't do it. Said, no, you have to stay for the 2-bedroom. And then after you're done with that lease, you can go to the 1-bedroom. He says, well, I can't afford the 2-bedroom anymore because they raised the.
Well, then what happened so when he broke his lease, what happened? Did they rent it right out?
That's what we understand is, because they didn't really have many apartments that were open, if any.
Now, listen, you have to do a little homework on that. And you can ask them about that when you sue them, if you sue them in small claims court, but you have to sue for a monetary damage of what they withheld. Or you use it as a defense if they're coming after you. Which is it? Are they coming after them?
Yeah, they're coming after him, yeah.
For the whole balance, for the whole 6 months?
Yes, the entire balance, yes.
Okay, well, and you know for a fact it's being rented.
Well, from the neighbors said yes, but how do you prove it?
Well, you ask them straight out in court. I mean, you got to go and defend yourself. And if are they suing you in county court, district court? I don't think they're going to small claims court, are they?
No, it's Adams County court.
Okay, then you can do discovery.
They're suing for the balance, which was about $14,000.
Okay, then that might even be beyond. It might be county court. I forget the limits right now. But here's the point: you can now defend yourself, get an attorney, or do it yourself. But you have to ask for.
I wouldn't do it yourself. You're going to have an expert witness come in and explain why they're getting paid on it, even though you're not the one paying.
Well,
okay.
I'm not sure how much of an expert you need on that, Mark. I think
you walk into anything over small claims court without an attorney, you might end up not only paying $14,000, but you're going to be paying all the other attorneys.
Break when you can, buddy.
It is risky, and only because we've seen people do terrible jobs. Okay.
The first thing you might want to do is read the lease, because if the lease says if they do take you to court and they win, you have to pay attorney's fees, you better calculate what that's going to mean.
How much are they trying to get? $14,000, right?
Yeah.
It might be worth, it might be worth just finding out if it is rented for sure. I mean, if someone's living there, most likely it's rented. They're obligated to mitigate their damages. Or you could simply ask, did they file the lawsuit? Just hold on, and I'll come right back to you. Hold on.
Thank you.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Michael Brown tomorrow morning at 6:30 KHOW Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Starting north and west of Fort Collins, Highway 34 is closed between US 36 for Big Thompson Avenue and Colorado Road 29 for Waterdale Drive due to the ongoing fire in Big Thompson Canyon. Alternate routes advised, only local residents allowed through the road for evacuation. Into the Denver Metro, a fairly calm drive, I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds. An incident on the south end of town, Bellevue eastbound is closed between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive for ongoing gas leak work. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We've got a hot week ahead of us. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 97. The current temperature in Denver is 94 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
I've had this sponsor for years now, and they buy homes. It's that easy. Now, you've heard all the commercials. They're not going to give you any fancy mumbo jumbo. They're just going to give you a price. If you like it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. If you have deferred maintenance, you don't want to wait for loan approvals, you don't want to show the house, you don't want to list the house, you want to check, call Homevestors today. They'll give you a bid. Hey, listen, it may or may not be what you want, but you have nothing to lose. 800-44-BUYER. They must be doing something right. They've been with me for years. 800-44-BUYER, 800-44-BUYER. Red Rocks Roof and Solar, I'll tell you what they're doing right. They're getting people into solar systems at great prices with great rebates. And you know what else? Those tax credits with them are 40%, not just 30%. You can find out why. They have a reason, 40% tax credits. They can also help you with all other financing you might need on yours and how to get rid of those tax credits if you can't personally benefit from them. RedRocksRS.com. Man, are they rewriting the book on solar, doing it the right way. 303-704-2449. Mark, did you see my text?
Yeah, hold on. I'm texting you back.
All right. Just so effed up. God damn it. Ugh. Hey, Mark, I got a message that my Cybertruck would be ready, but Stephanie won't let me get it.
Okay, listen, I did too.
Yeah.
I do not like the price of it.
What is it?
So the Beast is it's basically $120.
Yeah, but it didn't matter what the price was, even if it was cheap. The cheaper one, can't you get the cheaper one?
No, the cheaper one's like it's the first year edition, so you have to buy that. You can't buy the cheap one. I forget what it's called. but it's still 90, I think right around 93 or something. Here's what it brought back to me, though, man. I paid $110 for my S, and then 6 months later, the prick dropped the price on the brand new 2023s, which brought the value of mine crashing.
Oh, shit. So
I'm kind of afraid the same's going to happen. I might just wait and pick one up for 60% when the next year comes out. I don't know, but I was looking at them, man. I was going either way. I was shocked on the choices, though. It's either 93 or 120.
Yeah, I can't.
And I don't think I want a 2-motor. I don't think I would do that.
I've never thought I'd say this, but I'm not allowed.
You're not allowed to get one? That's funny.
It's the truth. I mean, she said this is a deal breaker, bro. She hates it.
I love it just because it's so ugly. I love it. I'm starting to see them everywhere. On our trip, we really did see a shitload of them. And they're so unique looking, they stick out. It's not like seeing a Ford pickup. Yeah, I went in and started designing it, the whole thing. And let me tell you, that 118 for the Beast is just the very beginning. You can still do rims and...
Ew.
During Advanced Hair Summer Sales Event, advancedhair.com.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. You're a troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, Mike, here's the thing. You have to defend yourself when they actually sue you, okay? So, did they actually file?
They say they're going to file. Of course, they did the first thing. They threatened and they send you to collections. But what they really did is they delayed. And then when it's, it pushes it way out to where they're now wanting to charge interest of 25%, 30% on the money.
Well, hold on. They can't arbitrarily charge that. They can only charge what was in the agreement.
Okay. Maybe that's what they're threatening. I don't have any paperwork in front of me. I'm in the car, so.
Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. Okay, you start out at a deficit because your son breached the contract. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter that he couldn't afford it. It doesn't matter that they wouldn't let him move. He breached the contract. So you're starting out at fault. Okay. Now it's a matter of damages. That's all it is. There is no question on the breach. So now it's a matter of damages. What you want to argue is that they did not attempt to mitigate their damages. They did not, or they did mitigate their damages, whatever. But it's all on you, okay? And what you need to do as part of a lawsuit against you or your son is to then afford yourself of the rules of civil procedure. And those rules will be, at certain times you ask about discovery, and at certain times you take depositions, and then but read it carefully to make sure you're not on the hook for legal fees if you lose. You could end up your son could end up seriously in debt.
Well, which brings up the whole bankruptcy thing.
Right. Is your son in debt anyway right now?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then
I couldn't afford the higher rent.
Okay. Bankruptcy. How old is he?
30.
Oh my God. So. Well, okay. I thought he was way younger.
And veteran. He's not.
Oh, is he a veteran? Did you say?
Yes, he is.
Okay. So listen. If he does a bankruptcy, then it all goes away anyway. I mean, so I wouldn't even bother putting up a big defense.
And if there is, and it looks like most apartment leases do have attorney's fees, and set forth in Colorado or CRS 134123, the prevailing party is entitled to recover. So, I mean, that's by statute. So you better be real careful. And I don't know if that means, let's say they don't get 13 or 14,000 in court, but they get 5. I bet you still have to pay attorney's fees.
Yeah, but they had no interest in negotiating. Like, all right, let's just talk about it.
Then what Tom's saying on bankruptcy, what I would do is go talk to, say, Mike Wink or Gigi Wink, and when I say threaten bankruptcy, you have a bankruptcy attorney call and say, hey, this guy's getting ready to pull the trigger. Are you sure you don't want to settle? And they'll really take that serious compared to, him saying it or you.
Yeah. Well, that may be the...
How much debt is he in right now?
I'm going to say 60.
And how much does he make?
Currently, not a whole lot. He's 100% disabled.
Okay, bro, there's no question about it. No question. Call Mike Wink right now. Call Mike Wink. If he's a disabled veteran, or you got to call Mike Wink. There's no way you're going to fight this for 60 and then add to it. I got to go on to Chris. Chris, what's happening with you, Chris? Chris, what's happening? Chris? Is Chris still there or not? Just give me a heads up.
I'm here.
Hi, Chris. What's going on?
Last month, my air conditioner went out. I instinctively called the company that installed it 5 years earlier. It was a capacitor, and the guy was here less than an hour. My complaint was they charged me, they have an ongoing $150 service fee because I complained they charged me $130, so I got a big whopping $20 off on that. My question is that even fair or legal, or why are they getting reimbursed from the manufacturer?
Well, I don't know if it's under warranty. Hold on, dear. Hold on. Yeah. I'll come right back to you, I promise. We'll talk about the warranty right after this.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
Starting north and west of Fort Collins, Highway 34 is closed between US 36 for Big Thompson Avenue and Colorado Road 29 for Waterdale Drive due to the ongoing fire in Big Thompson Canyon. Alternate routes advised, only local residents allowed through the road for evacuation. Into the Denver Metro, a fairly calm drive, I-25 north and southbound showing highway speeds. An incident on the south end of town, Bellevue eastbound is closed between South Prince Street and Santa Fe Drive for ongoing gas leak work. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. We've got a hot week ahead of us. Mostly sunny skies with a high of 97. The current temperature in Denver is 94 degrees. With your Impact Traffic and weather, Mark Swan, 630 KHOW.
Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
You know, I love hearing discount bath in one sentence. You don't normally hear those two words. Discounting a bath means a lot, and discountbath.com does great products and great service and really beautiful bathrooms, and they truly are at a discount compared to that same bath anywhere else. And you can easily check that out because they have no problem giving you pricing. Discountbath.com, whether it's a half bath in a hallway, or maybe a 3-piece or 5-piece bath, as they call them, or maybe a master bathroom bath. What you need is to call them, go over it. They have applications that will help visualize what it will look like for picking your materials, and they'll do all of this before you have to commit to anything. 720-979-2322. You have nothing to lose. Just get it priced with Discount Bath first. Discountbath.com. Hey, John Fuller is in a tough business because people come to him when they're injured. And here's really the bottom line. The bottom line is this. People want to know what is their case worth. It's not because they're money hungry. It's because they've suffered losses. And our system of justice says people who cause you a loss with pain and suffering and everything else, they owe you money. It's the only way we can make things equal. So they want to know what their cases were. John Fuller has had so many cases of so many different magnitudes that he can tell you pretty accurately what your case is worth, but more importantly, if it's worth pursuing because there are avenues to collect or not. John Fuller, he gives all of this to you up front free of charge in a free consultation and then a percentage fee basis if you do hire him. John Fuller, Fuller Law. Find out what your case is worth. And if you can collect, 303-597-4500, 597-4500.
Give me a few seconds.
What was it she said went out? Was it a capacitor?
Correct.
Thank you.
Hey, we're out the 28th till the 4th of August, so we're back September 4th, and then that's it for a while. Comprende?
Yes, sir. And it's on the calendar, right?
Yeah, so you said late December. I mean, we have nothing else in September except for that. Now, when you're back or something, Miles and I might fly to Alaska or something. I haven't decided yet. But
why does he get
planned,
off?
So get yours
does
on the
he get
calendar.
off?
Yeah, he gets. He's got a week, September, October, I believe.
Oh, very
He goes out to Oklahoma City this month.
Why?
Manager meeting. He gets to meet the founder, the whole bit, man. He's looking really forward to it.
So he's really getting in good with them, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, he'll have a store, hopefully January.
Of his own? Will he have to move?
Yeah, I mean, he'll have whatever to choose from. It definitely won't be where he's at, but their packages are always great. They pay for all the moving, they buy out the lease. I mean, they do everything, man.
Did she say what brand it was on the...
I do not believe so.
Okay, thanks. I gotta help her out here. I got some answers for her.
All right, 10 seconds here, guys.
Thank you.
Media. The only missing ingredient is you. Join me each day of the work week starting at 2 here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino. Let's go right back to Chris. I got some answers for you, Chris. Chris, most capacitors for most HVAC systems, come part of their warranty, are 5 years. How old? And yours is right at 5 years, right?
Right.
Some of them have...
I don't have a question. I don't have a problem with the warranty. My problem is the $150 service fee.
Right. Yes, they're allowed to charge that. They are not reimbursed for service or labor from the factory.
God almighty.
Yep.
That's
No,
outrageous.
and that's actually pretty reasonable. It really is. Now, I've looked it up. And what brand do you have?
Amana.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, okay, Amanda's a pretty good name, but listen, here's the deal. I think Carrier's probably one of the leaders in the industry.
Right.
Now, some of those capacitors could be even longer, but under no circumstances is labor guaranteed unless it's guaranteed by the company. For example, Plumline Services, they will do their own guarantee on labor for certain things. So it depends on the company, but the manufacturer does not reimburse them for the service call. And if you paid $150, that's all you paid for a capacitor, that is not a bad deal.
All right.
What did you pay for the system 5 years ago? Do you recall?
It was around $5,000, and it has a 10-year warranty.
Man, you know what? You did pretty good. 5 years ago, $5,000. That's a pretty good price even 5 years ago. And how big is your house?
It's a 2-story, 2,400 square feet. It doesn't
look,
do anything upstairs.
I know that it's upsetting, but I would not complain right now. I think they did not do you bad, okay? So,
all right, thank you, Tom.
Sure thing, Chris. Keep listening. Thank you very much. 303-713. Oh, let's just put it this way. Tune in tomorrow, right? And then you can call me at 303-MARTINO 24/7 for help, information, and referrals, and we'll get you on the next show. So that's 303-627-8466. Goodbye, folks, and remember, 303-MARTINO, save all your problems for me. Thanks, guys. See you, Mark.
Tip.